We got the new board right here, bro.
Yeah.
This is modeled after the car you got right here. Is this your car?
Nope, it's not my car, but I would take it. I'll take it.
Take whatever comes your way, man.
That's a nice car right there.
Yeah, we just dropped it. I think it's maybe a Monte Carlo.
Right.
Like, I was like trying to Google search it. They know, but like anyways, like somebody knows. Shout out, put it in the comments. But yeah, so the new pro model right here, Grizz. It's an 8.1. It's not my size. I skated 7.9. But yeah, man, y'all go show some love, bro. Support, man. Like we need all the support. You already know what it is. I want all my homies skating the board.
Wait a minute, you skated 7.9? All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special
Yes, sir.
special guest. Mr. Dane Vaughn is with us.
Appreciate you.
How are you, dude?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm doing wonderful. I'm super excited to be here.
Dude, thanks for coming, man.
Dude.
This is great, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny because we were just talking before the show started, and we were in Des Moines just recently at the Des Moines Street Style Open. And not to just gas you up right away, but you were killing it out there, dude. You were having fun, and it was a good vibe.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really enjoying myself out there. Just trying to get more involved in contests, and the boarder's been, shooting me information about them, letting me come to some of their contests and enter it. So I was super appreciative of that. And just with my lady, we traveled out there and just trying to get more involved with them. It was just,
it's a cool little town too.
Yeah, it was a blast. So
let me ask you a question though. Were you ever like a big contest guy? You said you're getting back into it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was always down with contests. I always thought they were fun. Growing up, as a kid, and skating. I started skating in Minnesota, so we had the 6 months of the year, it was indoor skate park kind of style, otherwise you didn't really skate or you were in a parking garage. So anyways, I was kind of always around a bit of skate park,
Yeah.
So I always thought contests were fun. Me personally, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun,
And then
as it went on, as the career went on later, longer down the line, it was kind of a little bit shorter, it didn't come about as much. And maybe the thought wasn't all the way there. Maybe it was more towards I need to film street parts and stay in a lane where I was pushing for DGK and, things like that, so.
But there's not a lot of guys on DGK that enter contests, so that's probably why as well. Because, around your peers and stuff, it makes it easier. If they're pulling up to a contest, it makes it easier to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll entertain pulling up.
Yeah, and so DGK was never against contests. They just really weren't they weren't involved in them like that. So I was I'm trying to push for DGK. So I was like, all right, let me just stay in the lane that DGK is, and I definitely probably skated a few contests in that period of time, when I was starting to get on DGK, and but I think it just slowed down,
Right.
And then I just out of nowhere, my lady was actually giving me a lot of inspiration, yo, you should. Shout out to my lady, Sarah Lorenzo. Yeah, so she was always in my corner, just pushing me to be better, and really take advantage of everything and whatever they have to offer, So
it's funny. I feel like we can get super comfortable. We can get so in our little bubble, especially here in LA, and I feel like just stepping out of the comfort zone is good, especially in skating. And we were saying before, it's they have these little contests. They may not be the biggest contest, but it gets a community together. You're out with people, the one in Des Moines. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's still not huge.
Right.
So I don't think there's a lot of pressure there. Leo Romero's cruising around and doing his thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It feels more of a get together.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Especially the way they had it lined up. I think it was the first day. It was a bump to bar and then a bench or a rail, and it was a 2-trick combo. So it's okay, if you land one trick and then you have to hit a trick on the next obstacle, and then if you do them both in a line, then they judge you on that. If you miss, then it's nothing.
Right.
So I just thought that was a different format. That was pretty cool. And then the next day it was a best trick, to start the day off was over a street flat gap in Des Moines.
How big?
That thing was
huge. It was 10 feet. I mean, my
legit.
feet, 10 feet. It's probably a 9-foot gap, 10-foot gap.
Dude, it was, I measured it, it was 3.5 boards long.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but that thing was massive.
Yeah.
People were hauling ass at that thing. What went down there? Just an ollie. No, I'm just
no, it's funny. It's funny because I asked some of the locals, I was like, what went down on this prior, you know? And they were like, oh, like the homie Ollie manualed it. And like, I think they were like, it's been kickflipped. I think it was like literally the amount of tricks that they had said something was on one hand.
Yeah.
And then by the end of that contest, there was literally like you were holding all the tricks in both arms.
Totally.
That's so sick.
It was going down, dude.
I think it was cool that like all the pressure wasn't on you specifically at that point. Like you were skating with everyone. And I thought that was super cool.
For sure.
Skating by yourself at a contest is always a little nerve-wracking.
100%. You know, I think that's how the Tampa the Tampa Pro, sorry.
Yeah.
Either way, like that's always a tougher one. Is that's when you really got to be dialed in. Like when it's not like a jam format or like it's like you got to really put it together right away. You know,
the jams they're fun. They're more fun to watch to me, to be honest. Like everybody's skating the flat gap, and it was kind of like a mini Copenhagen, where they kind of go to each spot, and then they had the Mania little Red Bull thing.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was super cool to have like all those different formats of contests in like a 3-day period. It was like, it was just
that's stupid.
I really liked it, and it's funny too because we were out there, and I was like, because I've been saying it a couple of years now. I was like, I need to make it out to Copenhagen, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't. It's always like when I'm like thinking about going, I'm like, I just don't know the date to it. I don't know why.
It's happening.
And then I'm like, wait, it's like tomorrow. Like,
I know. How am I going to get? They keep it kind of hush hush.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying before, because like you said, you're kind of trying to get out there more. Is it just to like? Did you feel like you were kind of like in a like not like, but just?
I just feel like I kind of like. I've always been skating and I've always been productive, but I feel like there was a point in time for some years where I feel like I could have
little underground.
Yeah, or just like I feel like I could have been doing a lot more for myself in like what I actually could have put out, what I actually am capable of, and where I actually position myself instead of that. And so I kind of was like, all right, like moving forward of where I am in my life now, like I'm like, I want to be able to capitalize on all of those situations that I probably overlooked at a certain time and where I'm at now, because I feel like I'm the healthiest part of I've ever been in my life, and I feel like I'm so capable of continuing to like do what I want to do and, you know, really capitalize on like just what I've already built for myself and where I'm at, you know. So it's like I don't want to like look back now, like going on, like I still had that opportunity to do what I wanted to do. So I'm in the middle of it now, you know.
Because I think there is more opportunity nowadays with contests and with events and all that stuff. Because like we were saying before, it's kind of like video parts, magazines. We were kind of focused on one type of thing.
Totally. I mean, I have regrets to not capitalizing on certain moments of my skate career in that sense, and just not seizing the moment when you know you could have had the opportunity to do so. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I know I fell into that for sure. Yeah. So I'm not the first, and definitely won't be the last.
Yeah. You know 100%. So that's I respect
that. I respect.
Yeah,
that.
and it's like it's not like thank you. It's not like you want to kind of be like beat yourself up over it, because it's like, what can you really do? That's where you live. That's what happened.
For sure.
But obviously understanding where you are in your life today and what you want to see out of it is like, okay, make sure you do that now, knowing that's how you felt before. You know?
Totally.
Yeah. So.
When you were growing up, because you grew up in, where would you,
well, I grew
Louisiana.
up. Yeah, I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah, straight up.
But you said you started skating when you moved out of there. You weren't skating?
No.
What was going on in Louisiana before that?
What was going on in Louisiana?
Yeah, man. What was going on?
I mean,
there,
dude,
bro?
honestly, I was like, okay, I lived in Louisiana from, I think, like, it was from, like, okay, since from when I was born.
Yeah.
To, I think, like, 11 years old.
Okay.
I think I moved to Florida for like 2 years, and I got hit by a car, and then my mom went back. Yeah, and then my mom went back to Louisiana because she needed help to like take care of me.
What happened? You got hit by a car?
Rewind.
What happened?
I was like, okay, like we were living in some apartment building, and my mom was like, okay, whatever you do, like you can hang out around the apartment building, like with your homies.
Yeah.
Just don't go across this little like creek bridge, because it went into this grocery store parking lot called Piggly Wiggly.
Okay, I've heard of Piggly Wiggly, not too familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a rare one, but it's a rare one, but they definitely have a chain too. So there's like just whatever, don't go over there. So anyways, we all had big wheels, okay? Like two in the back, one in the front, like plastic. You heard them like, you know. So we're over there. Yeah, straight up. Like we're a big wheel group in it. Like we're like one of the homies was like, all right, we're going over the bridge today. And I was like, really? Oh, fuck it. Like, okay, let's go. So we did it, and like we're about to cross this little intersection in the parking lot. Like it's like an intersection to me, you know? So like I look back and I'm like, why aren't you guys looking? And I just look at all their faces. They're like, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? And I start going forward, and boom, I get hit. Like,
what?
And then so, this van hit me, and it was like,
wow.
I was like under the tire, right?
Oh my.
And then the dude gets out of the car and looks at me like under the tire. It's like some old guy in like some creeper van.
Okay.
And he gets out of the car and he looks at me under the wheel, and then he just jumps back in his car, shuts the door, and then just revs the tire engine to like go over my leg.
What?
Because it's stuck. He just tried to leave. He tried to leave.
Oh, he was trying to leave.
Yeah, he was trying to leave, and so he did it, and then it didn't go nowhere. It was just like spun on my shit, you know?
No.
Yeah.
You were under it still.
Yeah, I was under it, dude. It's like I remember this so clear as I was 5 years old. So
on your leg?
Yeah, it spun it and it ripped it all up, and then he did it again. Because it didn't go nowhere, and then it finally caught like some bone, I guess, and then it left. It was like boom, boom, like hopped over it. Yeah.
Is he even saying anything? Like, you all right?
And then when they're like, no, not at all.
No,
not at all. He was just like, checked to see if I was okay, or not even okay. Checked to see what happened.
Yeah.
And then got in his car, revved his engine twice until it actually left my leg. And then there was like 4 old ladies in the back, and they just peeled back the blinds, and we were like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah, and I was like, damn, like OG with the creeper van, 4 old ladies in the back. I'm like, damn, it's like a party in there. So then he took off, and then they ended up catching him. Whatever, but I was like, I had to learn how to walk again.
Really?
Yeah, because like he had ripped up all my shit. I had skin grafts, all that shit. Yeah. Wow. And then so I went back to Louisiana, and then got healed, you know, and learn how to use crutches, all that stuff at like 5. Yeah. Damn. But yeah, so that was that, and then got back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
And then I started playing like baseball when my leg started healing. I was like on baseball, and like, you know, like we would just like have like dirt jumps, and like we'd have our little, you know, mongooses or whatever. Jumping the little dirt gaps and like casing it and like flipping over the handlebars and like, you know, like going through like all my cousins live down the street, and they'd just be like, what up, Dane? Like, you know, like, and like fucking on 4-wheelers and then living in trailers. And I'm just like, okay, like I lived at my grandma's house. It was so sick. There was like a pond, and like, it was like 3 acres, all these oak trees, and some old like wooden house with my grandpa's like shed in the back that just smelled like gasoline and paint, and like it's just sick, you know. It's like you always remember it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of those things, and my uncle would pop up like chewing tobacco in his spit can, just like black teeth, like what up?
I mean, we're talking
he's like
Louisiana.
He's like you get in trouble. He's like, go pick out a switch on the tree, you know, like I'd have to go pick out my own switch. He'd be like, I'll get your, and I would just run around the yard, all that crazy shit.
Really?
That's like just Louisiana. Yeah, that's how it was. Like, and like, I think like, you know, like 92 for me, like something like that, like 93.
So your leg healed up perfectly. You didn't have any like repercussions from the leg injury?
No, thank God. Yeah. No, I healed up. My mom made sure. They ended up suing the guy. They caught him, they sued him, and it paid for my doctor's bills. Okay. I got a great surgeon. She made sure to get like the best of the best. You know, and I got skin grafts, put it all together. It was a tough time for sure. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But yeah, after that, like, you know, like I was able to skateboard and everything. So.
Yeah. What a psychopath. Yeah. Just like looks out and, there's a kid under my tire.
I like remember it to like the T. Like some lady came out the grocery store. She was like, what the fuck? She called the ambulance. And I thought she was going to stay with me, but you know, it's like gross. So she just called. She took off this normal thing. Like, you know, like.
Jeez. But if it's a kid, you almost want to feel a little bit more sympathetic to the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
How long were you out for?
Me? Only like a year.
Okay.
I was only like a year, yeah. It was like, you know, just the whole, like, that skin graft stuff, you have to bandage it, and then you got to, like, unbandage it, and you're, like, peeling. It's so gnarly, like, yeah. And then they're, like, taking care of it, and then it's so gnarly. Damn. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, at least you made it out of there, bro. Oh, so you were, and then you were Louisiana, and then where'd you move to after that?
So after that, I had never met my dad before. Like, so they broke, my mom and my dad split up at like when I was probably still in the womb or something like that, you know, one or that. And then so we were starting to get a little bit older and kind of more wild. And my mom was just like, all right, you guys are too much. I think it's time that you guys meet your dad. Like, you know, like I think we're going to, whatever. He lives in Minnesota, so I'm going to see if he could help.
Okay.
You know,
when you say you guys, your brother or sister?
I have a brother. Yeah, he's a year older than me.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
nice.
He's super cool. I love my brother. Okay. Shout out Brian Vaughn.
Yeah.
So my bad. Yeah, and then so she was like, we're gonna move to Minnesota, because my mom was always like kind of down. Like she had moved to Florida. She's like she was a single mom. She was always with it. Like whatever. Like let's just go here if I'm feeling it. You know, we'll go over there. I'm like whatever. Let's do it. You know. So we go to Minnesota. And we meet up with my dad, and he's a tree trimmer. So he's just like he's like, you know, cutting trees for the city, all that type of stuff, bucket trucks, you know, like chainsaws. That's just him. And then so we're out there, and then we hang out for a little while. I meet my dad for my first time. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know. But he's still like doing his thing, like, so I don't think it lasted too long, obviously. So I actually think he hightailed out of there. Like, you came and invaded my area, you know what I mean? He was like, what you doing? Like, what's going on here? It's like, he's like, I'm going fucking somewhere else. Like,
I'm going to Louisiana.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going back that way for sure.
He didn't know you were coming?
I don't even know if he knew I was coming, dude. I mean, maybe for sure, because she had the address. You see what I'm saying? So, so I'm sure she had talked to him. He was probably like, whatever.
But also, you're young. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, maybe she figured it out. Whatever. But he was like, we were like hanging out with him for a little while there, like for like a month, and then it was kind of like, all right, I don't think he was prepared to like do all that, you know?
Crazy.
So then he dipped, and then we stayed, you know? And then this is still before I was skating, and then so we're living in like Frogtown, which is in St. Paul, Minnesota. And it's like, I'm just like, fuck, like, what do I do? I'm like, I think I'm like 9 years old or like 10 years old. I think like 9. And then there's like a boxing gym down the street. So I'll like walk down the street and then see this boxing gym. And I'm like, oh, like maybe I'll get involved with this gym. Just randomly got involved with this gym. So I'm over there like just, you know, training to be a boxer.
At
9 or 10, yeah. Damn. So I'm like hitting the bag. Like I'm in the gym like where they train you to be a boxer. Like they had like kid boxing, so like they would take you to like places and like throw you in the ring and like, yo, what place are you gonna get?
Yeah. Sounds like a rooster fight or some kid boxing. Let's make some bets.
This is the funny part, okay? Is that I'm in the gym boxing and training. I'm all juiced. They're like, you're gonna be in this fight coming up, like, and then they weighed me. And they were like, you're like a half pound overweight. So they trash bagged me up and they were like, all right, go run the block. Like, and I was like, wait, I'm like 9 and I'm already trying to shed weight. Like, what? Yeah. What? So I'm like running the block in this trash bag. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, whatever, like whatever it takes to get in that ring, you know?
Right. Did you get in there?
I got in there. Yeah. And it was like,
weight? Oh my God.
And it was like behind some bar. It was like, you know, it was like there's a bar and there's like a ring behind it.
I'm telling you, it's like a rooster.
Yeah. So there's a bar and there's a ring in the back, and then there's just like all these like kid boxers. They're like just frail.
I don't know if this is legal, Dane. I don't know if this is legal, bro.
Dude,
it sounds like some underground illegal boxing
betting
ring.
on the kids.
It's just all bones and skin. They're just ready to throw, like helmet gear in the boxing. They're like, let's go, you know?
Did you win?
I won the first round, and then the second round was some kid from Canada, right?
Wait a minute. You had to fight multiple people?
Yeah, there was like a couple like you moved up.
It was like a battle barracks, but like a battle.
Yeah. So the first round, I won. And then there was the second round, and it was like a kid from Canada. And then I was like, oh shit, like, okay, cool. So then we're like in there. I'm like kind of the kid that's like, I'm trying to knock you out. That's
you're going crazy.
I'm like doing my thing, trying to be, you know, precise or whatever, but I'm trying to like, you know, really end it, you know? And then, so
9 years old.
Yeah. So this kid was punching, right? Like, but none of them hurt at all whatsoever. But he was like, just had like his little jabs. And I was like, okay, low key, he won. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, man, I could keep going. Like, this sucks. You know, I wanted to just keep
He won
going.
on points.
Yeah, he won on points. And I mean, that's boxing for you.
Sure,
and then after that, I literally was like, I swear on everything, I was like, I thought it was over for me because I wanted to have a perfect record. I literally was like, wait, I don't have a, in boxing you think like, oh, you got 0 losses and 100 wins.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I like literally after that, I was like, man, I think this isn't for me.
He's retiring at 9 years old.
He was 1-1. He's like, I'm done.
I know. It sucks because if I would have kept going, like I'd probably be a great boxer, like in like because I'm already in there at 9. But I thought it was like I'm already blew my record. Like swear to God on everything I want.
Man. It's time for my retirement.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
That's so funny how the mind works in that sense. Like where you're like, I lost. I think I'm done.
How did you find skating then?
So then I went to it was like a K through 12 school. I ended up going to a K through 12 school. I think a little bit after that, once I finally got involved in the school, enrolled. And it was super cool, man. It's such an artsy school, like the K through 12. I don't know if all of them are like that, but it was super cool because they had like, the art class with the clay and the drawing, and all the kids were like super hip. Even back then to say that, it was like everyone was just kind of super like hip, like in like, artistic ways. You could tell like their family put them in this school for a reason or whatever. Okay. So I got blessed to go in that school. And then, so every day I would come out and there would be like this group of kids skating the stairs out front of the school. Like literally there's only one set of stairs to exit the school, and they'd always be like, by the time I'm getting out, they would be like ollieing the stairs, like or skating the stairs. So you'd have to like go between them, and none of them went there. And I was like,
they were like,
none of them went there. And I was like, okay, crazy, So I was like, that just looked cool to me. I was like, this looks so sick, And then eventually, like, I think I talked my mom into getting like me and my brother a board or something. Because like after school, we would actually go to the Salvation Army down the street and like hang out, and those kids would be there too. Because my mom was like, yo, you should go like to the Salvation Army, play ball. Like I'll pick you up later or whatever. So they would be skating in school, and then we'd be at the Sal, and then they'd pop up too. We were like, damn, we were like on the same track with them, So I was like, all right, let's get a board. So we got a board, and then we met him out front of the school, and then it's just like, hey, we could skate too. Like, what up, And they were just like, okay.
What kind of board? Did you have like a good board, or was it kind of like a Kmart?
You know what
special?
It was? I talked my mom into getting a dope board for sure. Not like I don't think it was like it was a DNA. I think somehow we like got to go to the Mall of America or something. I don't really remember. I think we must have looked up Skate Store or something but we went to Zoomies. Yeah, straight up. And then we got a board from, it was like a DNA board or something.
Wow.
Yeah. What's that dude's name? I forget his name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
DNA.
But back in the day, DNA.
Jamal Williams.
No, it was
Jerry Fowler.
No, it was like
Matt Milligan.
It was like Jason
Maxwell.
Jason.
No, it was like, oh my God, he had a really good kickflip, like to the Buchanan, John Buchanan. Didn't he ride for DNA?
Wow. He did.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So I remember that because later down the line we're skating in Minnesota, like Minneapolis, and then I just see John Buchanan pull up in like one of these like futuristic Chucks at the time. Like I forget which one it was. It was futuristic. I'm gonna tell you that was. It's one of the ones that you could fold over and like it comes into like a tent or something. I don't know. Yeah, and then like so he just does some crazy kickflip on that spot that Steve Nesser like fronts and flipped over the bar like down below, like it's like a 4-block over some fat road. Anyways, yeah. So I remembered I had the DNA board when he popped up, and I was like, whoa, this is like a DNA skater. It's so cool, Wow. But anyways, go back to the stair set. Yeah. And then, so I met these kids, and they were like, they were actually low-key, like, took us in a little bit. Like, all right, whatever, like, come skate.
Older kids?
No,
same
they were
age.
like our same age. Yeah. They might have been like, one was 1 year older, one was 1 year younger. Yeah, they were just cool kids.
Yeah.
They were like with it,
Dope.
And then, so, after that, we just like, I would just show up every day because that was our schedule. Just bring the board, and we just started skating and hanging out, and
Were they like really good, or were they kind of?
They were decent. They were ollieing
decent.
like a 6-er at the time, or like
Enough to help inspire you and like motivate you to like get to where they're at.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. Yeah, they were already kind of busting tricks. So then like we would all be like in front of the homie's house in the street, like just kind of trying to like learn tricks with them, or like motivate you to get to where they are, and then ever since then it was just like a cycle of all of us just feeding off of each other.
Did you guys make like little videos and stuff like that? Were you trying to get sponsored at any point? Like,
well,
I know you're still young and like
it wasn't probably I always learned from them a lot too. Honestly, they knew more than me. I just started skating with them, and then they would always surprise me of what the next move was.
Yeah.
And then so it would be like, okay, there was a time where, like we would get it was like VHS days. So they had the big camera and then they'd have the tape. So we'd be filming out with that, in the streets. We'd always skate street, like all the time,
big old
always.
VHS
Yeah, we didn't even have money. We
did.
would get to there was like Third Layer at the time too, but it was on Lake Street in Minneapolis, not the other one in like Apple Valley or wherever it is.
Yeah, there's like two. They had two locations, right? One. Well, I mean, they moved.
Yeah, they moved.
Point.
There was the OG one.
Yeah,
so we were around that time. And then so we'd film like the videos and we'd be editing it like on the TV, like rewinding and then recording and like all that type of thing. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then
What was the local skate shop that you guys went to?
Okay, so that was Phobia.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys remember that. So Familia is out there now, but Steve Nesser actually used to ride for Phobia.
Okay.
What about this? Is this kind of the time?
Yeah, that's probably like what was I? I was probably like 12, 13. So that's probably like 3 years into skating or like 2 or maybe 4.
I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
He already had the Steve.
Yeah, no, dude, it was like, I love the OG, like Dane from Minnesota. That was
I love the 13-year-old Dane.
That's where it started, bro. Shit.
Were you watching?
See the grasshoppers?
Oh,
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was
yeah.
What videos were you watching back then? Or were you watching videos?
So I was. Yeah. They would put on. We'd all hang out at the homie's house, and they would put on like I think my first one was Welcome to Hell. Yeah, my first one was
glimpse of me.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm in a friend section.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I had a glimpse then. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Not even knowing you did.
Oh, I know. See, hey, it's all full circle around here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
That's a good video, but that seems like earlier than when you were skating, like because that came out in like 96 or something.
That was just the video that the homie had. It was like, didn't Chris Sin have a part in that?
No, that
was ride
jump off a building.
Jump off a building. So that was
before that. Came out before.
No, that was after.
It was after.
Jump off a building was after.
Did Chris Sin live or ride for Toy Machine?
He did.
Okay, so he didn't have a part in Welcome to Hell. Remember where he's like bombing the hills and he goes up on the hills and like all the gaps in SF?
Yeah, that's jump off a building. Okay, he didn't have a part in
okay, so we were watching, it was definitely Welcome to Hell, but we also probably had like the jump off a building too. I think he had a couple OG videos.
Nice.
And then, what was it? Yeah, and then we also was like really like involved. What was the next one? It was like, oh man, I don't know why I can't come up with
Did you have like a favorite skater back then?
I mean, let me think. I mean, I liked all skaters. I don't know if I necessarily had like Kerry Getz. I really liked Kerry Getz back then. Like I literally was like, this dude's so sick.
Yeah.
His Steve and like DVS. I love DVS.
Oh, DVS. Yeah.
I loved DVS at that time.
His part in jump off a building's really, really sick.
Oh,
he has Kerry has a part in that.
See, so I was probably watching that too. I don't know why that doesn't come to mind.
Yeah.
Maybe this will refresh your memory.
Yeah.
Kerry Getz. Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
I was tripping, Yep.
He's just getting resparked right now, bro. I've been seeing some shit on Instagram.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Dope.
I remember hearing like I forget who I was talking to, like either like Tim O'Connor or whoever, but like Kerry's board like sold so crazy good back then, and because he there's a reason he's so sick.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was so rad that he's a fucking icon, man. He's you don't see that much of him anymore skating, but dude, he's so sick.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way he skates spots too. like in for back then, like like the ollie up on something and then lip slide down a rail, or like ollie up back. I don't know. It's just like something about he had really good look
like that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like every one of them's pretty like stand out to you, the way he's skating spots. Like I'm sure he's probably the first one to skate that. Like
definitely.
You know what I mean? Like that's like a spot now.
And he did it his way.
The over the thing.
Oh, he hit himself in the head.
Well, he did do that.
So
too.
is this a Toy Machine video? I don't know.
Yeah,
this is
it
jump
is.
off a building.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember seeing videos of him like freaking out at spots.
No, he's good at that. Bro.
Yeah.
He was good at that.
Yeah, but see, I was blind to that.
But like that's
never saw
skating
that.
for you.
Yeah, I never saw that. I just seen this.
Unless they showcase it in the video.
Yeah, and like like if that ever came down and it tainted my brain, then sure. But at that point in time, it was just like Kerry Getz was the rip. You know what I mean?
Hell
like,
yeah,
so
so sick.
And
Kerry
then
Getz.
obviously shout out to Kerry Getz. Yeah, for sure, man. Inspiration. And I'm trying to think. There was obviously other videos like I mean, obviously, I was watching, what was it? Like, the Shorties Fulfill the Dream, like, for sure. And then, obviously, like, The Reason and, like...
Transworld videos.
Yeah, the Transworld videos. Modus. I was watching a lot of, like... on skateboarding back then. Yeah, there was like a video magazine every month or every season. There was like more videos.
I was like quarterly. I think quarterly.
Like I was watching a lot of that. A lot of 411s.
Yeah. So you were up with it. You had the latest videos. You were kind of
that for sure. Well, we had a few at the house, but then we would always take the city bus to Minneapolis. Okay. And that's when I got introduced to Phobia. It was kind of a nice store, like, and then so we'd go over there and we just literally, like, the group of kids would just sit at the bottom of like Phobia's 2-story, and we just talk to the front desk dude, and then we'd be like, his name was Matt, the homie Matt. He's sick. Yeah, he had like gold fronts and shit. It was like, this fool's sick. And then
that's why skate shops are so important, bro. For that specific reason, they give you a place to sit, and congregate with your little homies, watch videos, and just
Yeah, and so we watch videos. Exactly. We see all the new skating, and then we literally would be there, and then like the pro crew would come through. And that was like Clint Peterson, Americ Pratt, Steve Nesser, Brian Heck. Like
that's a squad.
Seth McCollum, like all those dudes, Chad Benson, they would all just, Jeremy Reeves was there, like they'd all just pop in, and then they go set a board up, and we would be like right there, like what the, and then we'd go right after they like set a board up, we'd run up there like, yo, whose board's that? Like, set their board up.
Oh, their old board.
Set their old board up because we really couldn't afford boards like that.
Would you ever try to follow them?
No, we wouldn't try to follow them, because they were doing, I don't think so. Unless maybe sometimes if we were like, where are you guys going to skate? I think there was times where we do that, and they were like, well, we're going to push around, like, you want to come? Like, then we go.
Oh, that's dope.
Then we go. They were always really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so, that was like a really cool experience. And then so we would go up there a lot. We'd start traveling up there a lot, and then eventually we started getting hooked up by them.
Dope.
Like
By the skate shop.
At the skate shop. A few of us started riding for Phobia.
Right.
Like, so we were all super juiced. And we already called ourselves like TCSE, like Twin City Skate Crew. And then we had some like internet kid in our group, and he had already started us like a website. It was like,
what?
Yeah, like literally, we'd roll in there and they'd be like, TCSE, like, how the hell do you guys have a website already? Like, they didn't even have a website. Like, they didn't even have a website. They were like super juiced on it because we were like all ill with skating. Like, we had our crew, TCSE crew. We had our website. They were like, this is wild,
Funny.
Yeah, so they were like super juiced on it, yeah.
And then from there, were you guys film? You said you had the dad cam, the VHS, the tape and everything. Were you trying to, was it just homie filming, or were you like, did you want to get sponsored?
I think it was just homie filming. Okay. Like, let's just make a tape. Yeah. And then, I don't even know if that ever made it anywhere, but we did make a little video. It was chopped. It was like, there would be a trick, and then there'd be like the fuzz, and then into the next trick, and it wasn't proper. But so it never really made it. But once we started like lurking around Phobia, like they would see which ones they were like, yo, come film a trick with us. And then we started getting into like the crew that was filming, and they'd start like, oh yeah, meet us here, or like it was super rare, but then it just slowly, once they seen us skating, they were like, oh, you're dope, let's come skate, like, here and there, or they'd pick us up.
Rad.
Yeah. So
kind of brought you into the crew a little bit. Who was the best in the crew? Were you the best, or was
there was this kid Jason Byrne, dude. He was so good. He was crazy good.
There's always one guy.
He was like, he was the best, dude. Like, literally, like, back then, like, he would just try a trick and it would just go right into the trick, or he'd do it, like he was doing kickflip front blunts. Like, I seen him try a kickflip front blunt. First time I ever seen him try it was on like a skinny ledge in front of a house with the fence like right there. Like, so you had to like sit it in there straight up, and he was just like, tried it, flipped in first try, front blunt, like, but it wasn't waxed, I'm just like,
but he's just kidding.
We'd practice tricks there because it was a little less slick,
Gotcha. It's always dudes like that like end up quitting prematurely. He's so ill, and then all of a sudden he's like, I gotta go work.
He actually got a girlfriend, and then and then he was like just as invested as skating as he was in the girlfriend, and I was like, God darn, like, I was like, I missed that. I was like, we need Jason back, but he would come around and skate and just be just as good as he ever was,
So. But there always is one guy who's just super.
Shout out
super
Jason
good,
Byrne, the whole crew though. Shout out TCSE, you know what it is.
Who was your first, like, besides the skate shop? Like, who was the first like person you got, or a company you got like flowed by?
Oh, it was okay. So the first company I got flowed by, I was already riding by Phobia.
Okay, yeah.
For Phobia, but the first company I ever got flowed for was Supernatural Clothing by Rob Cece.
No way.
Rob Cece, yeah, I don't know if you know that. He was like working with Nike forever too. But it was sick. Like Steve Olson was on that team. Who else? There was some hitters on that team.
I remember.
Yeah, and it was so sick. I couldn't believe it. I had like my pair of white Forces, and I was like going to school like in Highland Park at this time, like a whole different school.
Okay.
It was a little bit more like Steve vibe, So like I obviously had like these brand new pants and shirts, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I got shit to pick from right now. Like, as long as I keep these Forces white, like I'm good all year. And like literally, like I would like had the Foot Locker shoe scrubber like on the Forces.
Yeah, I remember those.
And then like halfway through the year, like homies would be like, are those the same fucking Forces? And I'd be like, yeah. How the hell are those things still crisp? Like.
You're like, I got the
bro. Like,
$2.99 Foot Locker brush.
I was like, these things come before like me.
Were you? What were your parents thinking? What was your mom thinking when you're getting free stuff? Was it
she was just like, she's like,
she knows what's going on or no?
Yeah, she always was like, you guys like skating.
Yeah.
She'd take us wherever we needed to go. Not all the time, but like she didn't care. She was like, yo, you like skating? Go skate.
Right, because sometimes when free stuff's coming in, the parent they don't know too much. They're like, "What is coming?"
Yeah,
from?
no, she was cool with it. Yeah. She was just like, "Oh, you got hooked up? Like, hell yeah, honey!" Like, she'd be like, "Good stuff." I'm like, yeah, "Thanks, mom."
Okay. And mom didn't got to buy it. So
yeah, she was like, "Oh, that's super cool," So I'm like, "All right, thanks."
Totally. And then after that, what was like the first like sponsor?
The first sponsor was Iota Skateboards. So it's in the same house kind of in a sense. Yeah, so Iota was through Phobia. And that was my first board sponsor was
How
Iota.
long was Iota around for? I feel like it wasn't around for that long.
I don't think it was that long. Yeah.
I do remember it though. Like for a split second. I remember this Iota.
Yep.
How'd you get hooked up? So it was a Phobia.
Phobia. Then they were like, we'll hook you up with Iota, and I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like what? Like I just got blessed. Like I'm on the board company like out of that area that had all the like heavy hitters that I thought was so sick.
Dope. And then, so when that went out, where did you go from there?
When that went out, where did I go from there? Okay, so I think eventually I ended up moving from Minnesota. I was getting into a lot of trouble, like honestly, during those years. Like I was getting into a lot of trouble. So I had got like, I was like low key like in like a boys camp for 6 months because it just ended up being like missing school, probably a little bit of like this and that, to where it ended up being like, okay, I got court ordered to this school. And then my mom eventually, I think it was like a 6 months thing. So I was in there 5 months, and then my mom got them to be like, okay, we're just going to leave the state if you let my kid out now. So that's what happened. So we just left the state.
What? You were getting in that much trouble?
I was kind of like I was kind of a rugrat, dude. It was crazy. Like we were like, I would have weed and smoke weed and ditch school and go to the Mall of America with friends and just like act a fool. With, you know
really?
What I mean? Yeah. Like I was kind of in a, like, yeah. I was kind of like a wild kid, honestly. Something about being in that city and kind of free to do whatever.
What was the camp like? Was it just?
It was it sucked, dude. Yeah. I was like over there like doing my skate tricks like with no board. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
you couldn't bring anything.
I was like, I got to make sure I still have like my tricks, I was like
in the woods.
I was
like,
this is like I've never. Yeah, it was like in the woods. Okay, yeah, it was like a full camp. Like, you could like run, but you wouldn't get away. Right. Yeah, like, and they had the bunk beds, and like before that, it was a month of like high security. So like a month you'd stay in this highest maximum security, just one cell, like, cells. Okay. And then if you cleared that, then they'd move you up the hill to
how old are you? Like 14, 15?
I think I'm like 14, 13, 14, something like that. Yeah. And then I got cleared, and then boom, went up the hill. And then that was just, that was crazy. That was a crazy time for me. I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm locked up,
When you got out, did you just skate from there?
Oh yeah,
or were you I'm not going back there?
No, like I was like, when I got out, I was like, I'm skating. So I was always wanting to lip slide this handrail, like this AT&T like 9 stair. I was always scared of it, but I would like practice it with no board, like in the cell or whatever, and like boom, practice it. And I was like, when I get out, I'm gonna lip slide it. So I pulled up, like I had a couple days still, pulled up, and I ended up lip sliding the rail. I was like, I thought I was going to be like, never like have the same skill, but I was like, all right.
You still had it.
Yeah. It was just weird to me at that time. I was like, wait, I don't know what's going to happen. you know. So I would be like practicing.
So when you got out though, was it no board spot? Like no, you didn't have.
Yeah, not really. No, not really. No,
like start from scratch almost.
Yeah, for sure. I had just gotten like there was like little incidents where I had gotten in trouble, and you know, just things that like, you know, as a kid, like I think we were at like third layer one year as a group of homies. We were like, I think we rode for IOTA, and we were like, oh shit, like these IOTA boards right here, I think like let's get one. And we like took a board, and then the next day they were like, oh shit, where's these boards missing? Like we had took from our own sponsor, but they like had the boards at the third. It's like crazy. Like
you're like riding them.
Yeah, exactly. We pulled up the next day with like the shirts and like the boards, and they were like, oh yeah, like all right, we're gonna on the loudspeaker. They're like CJ Terminino, Dane Vaughn, like this and that. No. Like we're just going in the room one at a time, you know. But just you know stuff you live and learn through.
For sure.
So, yeah.
But you said that like when your mom said you'd move out if you did you leave?
Yep, we left. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I think at that time we went to, where did we go? I think Texas maybe.
Oh shit.
I think Texas Texas. Okay. Yeah, we went to Texas. I lived in a couple different states. So then I went down to Texas, and that's when I met like I was staying in like some apartments in like the hood out in Dallas. And then randomly was skating, and that's when I met Auby Taylor.
Oh wow!
He was out there, like he was getting driven around by, like his dad would drive him around. He'd have a camera, and I was just like, "Whoa, someone had saved me, like to skate." You know, I was like, "Okay." So he'd pick me up, we'd go film, and he was like a beast. Like, I was like, it was like a new, like way of skating for me. He would just like his dad would park. He'd get out. He'd be like, hand me the camera, and he'd be like, "Okay, film." And then he would just try like he'd go like kickflip a 15.
Really?
Yeah. And we were like literally like 14, 15, like 14 at the time. And he'd just go kickflip like a 15, or he'd be like, I've skated this spot. He'd like go to this spot, it'd be like a 9 rail. He'd be like, I'm going to board slide it, and you board slide it right after me. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, you got it, dude. And I'm like, okay. Or like, it's a bigger like mellow 9. I'm like, all right, sure. So he board slides it, and I'm like, fuck it, here I go. Boom. I try it. Nose hits the rail. Oh. Nut it. Flip scorpion, boom, and I'm like, oh my god, like you really, yeah, I'm like, I really just bodied my shit right here. And then he's like, dude, get up and go do it again. You're gonna land it. And I was like,
how old is he?
I'm like, who are you? 15 also? I'm like, who are you, dude? Like,
drill sergeant.
Yes, yeah. I know, seriously, like drill sergeant skating. I was like, I never seen anything like it before, and I was like, okay, like I guess like I'm gonna land it. He's like, you're gonna land it, and I did it. And I landed it, but I was like, wow,
after
this is crazy.
A nut and a scorpion.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. And he was like, just get up and do it again. I'm like, dude, what? Like I'm going home.
He's the same age as you, or he's older?
No, he's like the same age, dude. Yeah,
he was
a beast, dude. And he was like, he was doing this stuff with like just him and his dad too, probably. Like his dad would just film, and so it was like hype to just have me there as a friend.
Dad was just kicking it, just filming.
Yeah, like he was just drive him anywhere he wanted to go. Like he was like, pick him up. Like I'll just drive you. Like,
so
whatever.
He was your new partner in crime, so
low
to speak.
Key, yeah,
like,
low key. Like
okay.
I had met some skaters out there. I met some like groups, and like I would hang out with like that was the filming. You know, I had some homies like in Dallas that were skating with me, like Maurice or Mo Duncan, it's hard to remember all the names, but like they were always dope. They were always holding me down, like you know, skating, like homie Faisal, and then and then I got involved with this other crew in Dallas. It was like this skate shop called Fast Forward. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
Yeah.
And then like they're kind of like with like 4 duos and so I was like I ended up skating for Fast Forward. Got in there like at the end right before they had a video. And then somehow got a part in that, and I was like, "Oh, this is super cool!" Like, if you try to look for the video, it's like hard to find. I swear, but like, I'd like try to look for it. It's called I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a fast forward
skate shop.
I think it's called the
it's on
fast forward skate flick or something.
It's on the Discord.
Yeah. So
2006 maybe.
Yeah. So I was skating that, and you know that was cool.
This one.
Oh, that might be it, dude. Yeah, I think you guys be
found it.
I don't know how. I mean, that's,
we got it.
Wait, is this it though?
This is from 2000.
That's it. Look at it. That's it, dude. That's a Dallas. That's it. That's Fort Worth right there.
You haven't seen this in that long, huh?
Dude, so long.
Wow.
Like literally so long. Like
I love it, bro.
those might be DVSs right there.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe some Kerry Getz's.
Yeah.
The
or maybe
TNTs
maybe
right
the
there.
revivals. Yeah, those are Vans, I think.
Yeah, the TNTs.
Yeah. Oh wow, the actual TNTs.
Yeah.
Nice. I had a pair, huh?
Bro, look at that.
Right, see that? Look at that. Big old Cubic Zirconia. Some more iPass right there. Nice.
It's so funny when we pull up old footage of people. They
switch inwards somehow.
I love it.
You ever trip out the tricks you used to do? You're like, oh, I remember that ledge actually. That was in England switchback nose grind.
That's a dope ass ledge. Got the.
You've had quite a few video parts, but I was looking at the archive of what JC put in the Discord for us, and I was like, dude, you've had. I mean, I don't know. I didn't count, but I was like, it looked like there was like 20 plus parts, dude.
Really? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
it's parts and also like tricks and videos.
Okay, if it was like that, then
okay. But a lot of. I mean, once you started getting on audio and then Zero, boom, 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 Blood Money.
Yeah. That's
Parental Advisory. But we'll get to all that for sure.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't even know how old I was. Nollie flip. That's rare for me right there.
Dude, you had
that's probably like 14, I guess. Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
This was like, I had her for days.
Damn, Nollie flip.
Somehow.
But that's your trick, but like that was a big set.
Yeah, it was a nice dub set.
Yeah.
Look, I skated this back in the day. Oh, that's a good story. I had those too. So that spot right there. So I ended up moving to Houston, right? Okay. And then I was isolated again. I was like, oh shit, like who do I skate with out there? There's like these kids like Eric Ostos, but I didn't know the same group. So I was like, all right, let me go search for spots, right? So then somehow like this spot was down the street from my house.
Wow.
So I would go there by myself and just literally like probably on a daily and just try to learn tricks on that spot.
It's a famous curved ledge.
That's why I went there too. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just run into people. And then there was like that homie Guru would pull up.
Guru?
Yeah, like he pulled up a couple times. Yeah, like, so I would see people.
It's a good spot to meet people.
Yeah, and it's a good spot to like learn because it's one of those spots that'll like get you better.
Is it
honestly,
a bus?
You didn't know at the time.
Is it a bus station?
It's a bus station. Bus station.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
is that the only thing to skate there?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're learning to skate a curve ledge.
Yeah, literally when I went there, all I skated was that ledge, like the whole time. And nose grind, tail slide, you know.
It is almost the perfect curve ledge.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like
it's a little sharp.
Is it?
But it's a little sharp. You can see it. It's got a little sharp, but it's perfect.
I've never been there.
But it is a little sharp. It is, you know.
So you're moving. So you're moving around. That must be tough too. To like, you know, you got your crew. You had your crew in Minnesota. Then you got your crew in Dallas. Then Houston. Like, I never had to experience that, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to like find new people to skate with.
Yeah.
Were you going to school too, or just kind of?
I would go to school. Yeah, maybe. And to be honest with you, in Houston and Dallas, I don't think I ended up going to school. Maybe I was doing like a homeschool thing, but I probably just wasn't really.
You were just going skating.
I was just skating, and I don't think I was really like going to school because I would meet these other kids too, like. When I was out there, they lived in Dallas. It was like the fast forward kids. And literally, like, I would be like, okay, mom, I'm going to stay at their house. And like, I would be at their house for like a couple months.
Oh, wow.
Just like, cause I lived in the hood and they'd like lived in like a dope neighborhood, like with like a 2-story house, pool in the back. Like,
you're like,
and they were like part of the team. Mom. Like, I'm like, I'm about to go kick it. She was like, okay, honey, like, cool. It was kind of, I would come back and I'd be like, where am I at? You know, like it was crazy. I like low key moved.
This is when you moved out. Like, this is when you were in Houston.
That was Dallas.
Dallas. I'm sorry,
but they lived in like the middle of Houston and Dallas. But yeah, that was Dallas. And then
when you moved to Houston, like how did you find a whole new crew? Like who were you skating with?
Yeah, they had a fast forward out there too. So there was like a couple people part of that lived out there. So I honestly didn't really meet up with much out in Houston. It was like way busier and buzzier city than Dallas was at the time. Like you go to Houston now and it's like dead. And then Dallas is popping. But back then, like Houston was like a LA. It was like thriving, you know? So I was like, oh shit, this is kind of a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, Houston, I think I moved to Florida. Okay. And then I had a whole, skating saved me. Like skating saved me, dude. Like it didn't matter where I'd go. Like I would just pick my board up and show up somewhere where there was skateboarding, and then like a crew would be like,
people.
Yeah, and then a crew would be like, oh, this is my new crew.
Yeah,
we're just cool like that.
That's how special it is.
Straight
yeah, like I'd always like be like, oh, I'm good. Like you know, like as long as like I just get dropped off and trying to meet some skaters, like it should work out.
When was a point too? Like because I know like fast forward to like 2010, like audio, you got
that was a little later
hooked up with that. But when was like the moment? Was it in Florida? Was it out here? Like where?
The moment was in Cali.
It was in Cali.
It was in Cali. Okay. Like I was always kind of like a fast forward or like a video part. I'd kind of like snail into a video part. Like, I'd be like, wow, this is cool how that worked out. It's just really weird. And like now you look at all the scenes that like I was involved in, like now and where people are, like it was like I always caught that like right timing in these like cities that I lived in, you know?
Yeah.
So
what happened? Oh, so what happened when you got in Cali? I just want to know, like, what was that moment? Like was it the crew you were skating with?
What it was my mom ended up just moving to Cali. She was like, we're going to go to Cali. And I was like, perfect.
This was right after Florida.
No.
Oh, shit. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fast forward too much.
I lived in Reno too.
Oh,
I lived in Reno too. I lived in Colorado too.
Both of those have a pretty good skate scene too.
Yeah, I was living in Colorado Springs and I ran into Windsor James. I had already been like a fan of him because he did like I was like, this dude like is so good.
Hell yeah.
And then I see him like pop up. I'm like, oh, that's Windsor James, you know?
Yeah.
I think I was like probably like 17 at the time or something, you know? And then like he's just like skating that new Colorado Springs park and I like said what up to him, like, oh, what up? You're Windsor, right? He was super cool. And then that was it really. Okay. And then I ended up moving to like I think Reno after that,
making your way
yeah,
closer
and then I ended
closer.
up to Cali, yeah, and then I have a big story about Reno too. That was a super big time in my life too.
Yeah, if you want to, please.
So Colorado Springs. I think I even have tricks out in Colorado Springs, but I don't know if they ever surfaced. Okay, but yeah, so that was cool time, and then we ended up moving to Reno, and then yeah, I met a whole group of skaters out there. Like I think we were running around like doing we did like a video part. My homie Chase, he was like part of this like Precision Productions. Like he was like, he was always down to film us and he had his own little style or whatever he was up to, like in like the editing and the filming. We weren't even like involved in like how he would present things, which was still dope. We just basically were like, as a group, like, let's just get out there and like go to these spots and film these tricks and put these video parts together, so it was cool. It was called, I don't even remember the name of the video part, but I think we even filmed a couple out there. I even filmed a couple with him, and then my other homie Harry Chippas came out there for a little bit, and Josh Anderson. I don't know if you remember him. He stayed at my house with David Perry too from Florida. They like all came as a crew from Seattle. They were like, I'm gonna come live with you for Reno for like a couple weeks and we'll just film like a part together. So I even put a part together with him while he was out there. I think we like had like a it was like a Bob, what was that song that we always listened to? I think it was like a Bob Dylan song or something like that. It was like, it's somewhere, but yeah. It was cool.
The amount of people you met through skating already at this point is wild.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
He's going from one scene to another scene to another scene.
Yeah, did I even mention
scene?
Florida? Like, yeah, dude, I was in Florida. So this is before Colorado. I was in Florida. I did this video. I had a video part in, I think, Coof, Cutouts of Florida. That was in Orlando. Yeah, like this kid Steve Otero was in it. He was riding for Zero at the time. Like this is like I was like going to that mesh skate park. I would see Evan Smith over there like nollie heel crooking the rail like as legit, dude. Like literally like so good. Nollie heel crooking the rail first try, like back 180 nose grinds. Like Evan Smith was always been so good. Manny Santiago, like I seen him back in the day. He was like somebody had talked shit to him at some like mesh after party and he just like went, he turned up on him. I was like, oh shit. That was like my first like introduction to Manny. I was like, oh shit. He probably remembers that. Yeah. But yeah, he's like, yeah, he would never do anything like that now. But yeah, he came with the hands. Like it was a packed premiere too,
Ready.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah, and then I lived in Tampa. Then I lived in Tampa too. I lived in New Tampa. We owned a house at the time. It was so sick. Gated community, really nice house. And then I would go skate park at Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would go hang out with all those dudes from Shaquifa, like Scotty the Body and Jada and Abdias Riviera and Robbie Kirkland and all those dudes, dude. I'd be like hanging out with them,
This is nuts, dude.
Yeah, seriously, I'm trying to tell you, I was like literally like whatever state I was at, I was like kicking it with the dudes, like it was random, like. And this is like during times where like like you didn't really know like that, and it's like you go later on in life and you're like, damn, like I was so blessed to be a part of each one of these places,
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting because like you finally, and your mom moved out here to California too, because it is the place, right? I mean, you said everything happened when you finally got to California.
Yeah, well, I always knew. knew. I was like, if I get to California, like that's the Mecca.
Okay.
Like if I get there, like if she's like, let's go to Cali, like because it was always expensive. Like it's not like cheap to live in Cali. Like all these other places is like we could probably make it happen.
Yeah.
We weren't really like crazy like wealthy or nothing. So, So then we did Reno. There's all the homies there.
Am I mistaken? Is Chris Ray from Reno?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I think, what was the skate shop called? Like Out of Bounds or something?
I think you're right. I think it sounds familiar.
Remember he had the spot book?
Yes.
He had the spot book.
Well, that's how I met Chris Ray.
He was like, okay, so I met him too. That the homie I filmed with, Chase, he was always trying to like be a part of that, but I don't think it really worked out the way he wanted it to. But Chris Ray was already like that dude in that area.
We went on like a chocolate trip, and he had a spot book, hundreds of spots.
That's when we were making our way up.
Yeah, that's how he kind of remember. You were that. Was that Badass Dumbass? I don't know. So good though, Chris Ray. Shout out to Chris Ray.
Big shout out.
Great.
Shout out to Chris Ray for sure. Yeah.
So you get out to California. I want to know what happened. Like, how did you finally get hooked up? Was it with DGK?
No, dude. It was like, they came later down the line, but really, honestly, okay. So this is how it kind of went in a full circle for me. Okay. So, like, Anthony Shultz is from Minnesota.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
Shultz,
he was ripping, like, back in the day. Like, I would go into Phobia. He didn't ride for the shop, but Phobia would be like, bro, like, there's this kid on the streets right now. Like, and Anthony Shultz, like, he board slid that 13 rail. Y'all better get out there and, like, do it. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all better, like, turn up. I'm like, okay, whatever. But he was, like, really good, And I was like, oh, shit. And then I always knew he was really good. There was, like, an indoor contest in St. Paul where like Pierre Lugan, and they had a half pipe, they had like a street course, and like all the people came to it.
Wow.
And I don't even remember what it was. It's just a random contest, but it had everybody in there. Super random. Like you think about it now, it had like the build out was like super wild. You know what I mean? It wasn't like perfect. It was like wild.
Okay.
Anyways, and then so Schultz was there, I was there, and there's like this tin stair down the street. So I'm like in the middle of like our runs where I'm like, let me go skate my normal 10 that we always skate. And then Anthony pops up and just kickflips his first try. I'm like, oh shit. So I knew like in person this kid was super good.
Here's the guy,
like, okay, yeah. And then so then he moved. He moved from Minnesota while we were still out there. He moved to Cali. It was just the word like, oh, Anthony went to Cali, So when you're skating, you're like, oh, like, wow, like he's in Cali. So I always remembered that, and then I noticed like later down the line that he was like popping, like, he was on like audio, and he was on I think what was it, Black Label. Yeah, Black Label.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, like, so if I ever made it out to Cali, I don't know many people out there. Hopefully I run into Anthony Schultz.
I got you. Okay.
Like how it's always been, like find someone,
Yeah.
Let's figure out the next move, like
100%.
Let's find a skater to hang out with, like, so and so I was living in Escondido.
Oh, wow.
I moved to Escondido because that's just where we ended up at. And there was a train that took you from Escondido to Oceanside. So I'm on the train. I think I met up with my friends from Florida in LA and skated a bit with them, and then got dropped off at the train and took the train into Escondido. And I met some random kid on the train. He was like, oh, you skate? Like, I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I have this skater homie picking me up. Like, maybe he'll pick you up and drop you off at your mom's. Because I didn't even know really, like, it's before, like, phone and address. Like, you had to really, like...
You got to plan out your day.
You had to, like, write it down and stuff, still at that time. So I'm like, okay, like... So he's like, yeah, this dude Dinkle, shout out to Mark Dinkle, he picked us up, and then he was just like, I didn't even get home for like 3 hours. He was like, let's check out this spot. Like, you want to go to this spot? Like, you skate, like, check out this spot. Like, so sick of a dude, Wow. And then after that, like, he knew where I lived, and he would be like, yo, let's come over. I'm going to introduce you to some people out in Oceanside. So that was down on the coast, and then that's how I met, like, the first skate shop that I started riding for out in Cali, Grandeur.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
My homie Jason, shout out Jason, like the owner of Grandeur, super cool dude. Like always held me down from the beginning,
Dude, he's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
It was out there back then?
Grandeur?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, it was next to the old, like, it was next to, like, I think, Tony Alva had a store right there. And then, so he ended up taking Alva's store there. That's where, or something like that, or next door neighbors. And then from there, like Nick Lockman had a store right there too. It was like Ellen. Like, what was it, Ellen K or something?
Ellen K.
Yeah. So he had a store there, and then so eventually, after a period of time, I started working there. I was living with Jason for a little bit. I think at a period of time. And then, and then he moved to another store down, like more on Coast Highway. But yeah, so he always had been there, since like,
crazy.
Yeah.
So you started writing for that shop?
Yeah, started writing for that shop. And then I forget how it happened, but I was like, okay, I think we went to some skate parks or, something like that. And then eventually I seen like the whole like crew that Anthony was with, and all them people. It was like NS crew or something, like, shout out NS crew. It was like a whole, like, it was like the Thrasher skaters, like for real, like straight Thrasher skater, like, live by the beach, like Oceanside, like, like raw talent, like, like all long hair, like, that's like Prince was a part of that, the Prince Park.
Yeah.
That's Prince. Shout out to Prince, like, yeah. So all that crew, like, and then I was just like, eventually, like, I don't know how it happened, but I was like, hey man, like, I got to come skating with you guys, and then Anthony Shultz, like, had his own house at that time, like right there, like on the beach in Carlsbad, right by the beach. And then everybody would go to his house. So eventually I made it over there, and he was just like, he low key, like, let me kick it. He was like super cool, had open arms, like, like come hang out, super dope dude. And then, after that, like, I just started like kind of being around more of like skaters that actually like were really like in the scene
doing it.
Yeah. And then my homie, I started being around more, and then my homie A Money, Alex, he was like, let's get you a mag minute. So he filmed me, like, he lived at Schultz's house. He's like, I'll film you, like, we'll get a mag minute, and then we'll just film that, and then people will know who you are.
Okay.
That was the time back then to get that.
Yeah,
for sure.
He was like, you just film a mag minute and people will know who you are, and I was like, okay. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I think like I had like started getting some flowed audios, and then they just, they put a mag minute together for me. Like, I was like, all right, let me push and try to really like do something, for this 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So I got the audios on.
Yep. So you were already getting shoes from them.
Yeah.
Through Shetler, probably.
That's
right?
DC's right there too, though. So I don't know. I think it was just during right at this, I think this mag minute, they started flowing at me.
Okay.
Like right in this period of time. See, like those ones right there, like from Grandeur, I don't even know what those are. They're like those are A-Life.
Oh yeah.
So A-Life slips right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Got the G,
Yeah.
Dude, it was so funny, like, hearing about you around this time, because all the people, you were really close friends with everyone that worked at the KO warehouse.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you around, like, oh, that kid's cool. Like, I just didn't know you were actually this good.
You know who was hooking me up with boards at that point? It was Matt Worley.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Matt Worley would roll around with, like, Chavez and Yogi. Shout out Andrew
dude.
Chavez
Hell yeah.
and Yogi. Yeah, they'd be in fucking Matt Worley's, like, Escalade or something, and they'd be like, they'd pull up, and I'd be like, who are these stunners, Like, and then he started giving me boards, and then, so I was getting flow for that. And I was trying hard to get, like, I was really pushing to, like, make something happen, Like, so I think it was just a period of time where, like, I was just trying to push to get on the DGK. And then I think, honestly, like...
Oh, that was your goal? Like DGK?
Yeah, because they started flowing me boards. Right. So I was like, all right, like what?
Okay.
This kind of matches up. Like,
interesting.
Like, I feel like it matches up. Like, I would love to ride for DGK.
Did you know everybody that skated for DGK at that point? Did you know Stevie
I don't
Williams?
Even know. I didn't know any of them.
You didn't know anybody?
None of them. I just knew Matt Worley that gave me boards. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew who they were.
Yeah, no, 100%. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I didn't know him. But I knew Nick Lockman was the dude, right? And he was around a little bit. Like, I would even like be like hanging out, because NS, like the homies that I would kick it with, like my homie Jermaine, shout out Jermaine, like, you know what I mean? Like, all these dudes were homies with everybody. So I would be kicking it with them, and we'd be partying, because there was a lot of partying going on at that time. Like, NS crew, it's like no standards crew. It was partying, like, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, our house even had a name. It was like Snapdragon. That was the street it was at. Like, yo, you guys are over at. It was like a whole thing. And
over to Snapdragon.
Yeah, and then yes, I even went over to Nick's house one time and like Brian Winning was there and like he was just chilling there, like not like on like just like vacation or something. I was shit. Like, what the that's one of my favorite skaters. Like Brian Winning, like you're not even supposed to be here. You're on the East Coast. Like I thought this was weird.
You don't even exist on the West Coast.
Yeah, like I was like, this is crazy. Like you're like low key like Love Park Philly ledges like granite, and I just see you in the middle of like a palm tree street like with like some gravel. Like this doesn't add up by the beach.
That's because like DC was right there. DC,
yeah, I know, but just the vision of it felt different. I'm like, you do not look like you're like by the beach. Like, that's how I was thinking.
You don't fit here.
Yeah, you don't fit here. Yeah. And I was just like, this is crazy. And then so that's when I really got the like gist of like how Cali could be, you know?
Okay.
And then I even was like, I was over at their house hanging again, and then like Wade DeSarmo was kicking it over at Nick Lottman. So that was like one of the first dudes I met on DGK. I was like, oh, there's Wade, like crazy, so sick.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a time where I was like, all right, I'm trying to get, I used to dress like, you know, I wasn't like, you know, always like the freshest dressed. I just kind of got what I got and put it on, you know, you know, I just was doing me. And then I think like I was trying to get on, and I think Nick Lottman was like, I don't know about that kid, you know, like that's what I heard.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, that sucks, you know?
Yeah.
But what happened was I was like, I just kept pushing through, you know, just kept skating and just filming parts with my other homie Scott. It's hard to remember last names all the time, but my other homie Scott, it was called like Finding the Air or something like that. There's another video part out there.
Okay.
Hella video part.
It was on Transworld. It was on
most video part dude over
yeah,
here.
It was on Transworld. It was on Transworld, and yeah. And then I was filming at the pier in Oceanside, like just like a long line, like, you know, throughout there's the Find the Air, a long line through Oceanside, and then Nick Lottman's walking by on his daily walk, and I'm just like, oh wow, like, and then I'm just like, I'm not gonna say anything, but he pulled up to me. He's like, yo, dude, like, that's sick. Like, okay. He's like, you want some boards? And I was just like, what? Like, hell yeah, I want some boards. Like, I've been wanting some boards, but now he was down to give me boards through like the main dude. He's the
so
TM.
you were already getting boards?
No, I stopped getting them for a period of time because I think maybe Whirly even stopped working for him. So I actually it actually went to an end.
Right.
And then that came about like where he was like, now the dude that I like heard was like, I don't know about this kid.
But he's seeing you in real life now.
Yeah. Then he seen me skating in real life, not just like the kid at like the party or wherever. He didn't even probably see me in skating ever.
No.
So yeah, straight up, like, you know, and then he was like, yo, you want some boards? And after that, I was like, all right, now it's time to go to work. I was like, now it's time to go to work. Now it's like, all right, like your opportunity has came about, and like now you got to make sure you do everything you can to really get to it.
How long were you on like a flow program for DGK?
Honestly, probably like a year. Not long.
Because
like,
that's
not long.
Interesting, because DGK is also like a tight crew, right? I mean, you got Stevie Williams at the head of it. You got you know, like the Wade DeSarmo. You got the whole squad.
Rennie Rivas, McBride, Jack Curtin. Yeah. It was like the squad.
And I feel you need to. Oh no, I'll take it. Thank you very much. But I feel like you need to know everybody. You need to meet everybody. You need to go on tour with them maybe. Like, did all that stuff just rapidly happen in that year?
It rapidly happened because like it was such a blessing of how it happened. Like it was like, okay, so Stevie had the playground in Atlanta, and they also had the DGK apartment. So they had a DGK apartment in Atlanta with the DGK playground that was underneath like the Gucci Mall.
Dude, that
you see
was
what I'm saying? Like
that
it was underneath the best mall in Atlanta. Like no, hands down. Like you could take the elevator from the center of the mall and go to the bottom, and like there's just this huge skate park.
Crazy.
And like there was like the whole gaming room, the pool. It was freaking luxurious.
Under the mall?
Yeah. Under the mall.
What's the name of the mall?
I forget the name. It's
right.
It's real. Is it really well known?
Super well known.
Oh yeah. It's like
if I heard the name, I would remember too.
It's not the basic mall. It's the rich mall.
Yeah, all the high end.
Outcast has talked about it.
Yeah, dude, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah. So this is underneath that mall. Right. Like literally, like you could take an elevator from right here and go into the mall.
I always wanted to skate there, man.
Yeah,
I always wanted.
It was fun, dude.
It was like
damn. The name goes in and out of my brain.
It does.
So
it's bugging me right now.
It starts with like an L or something. Like yeah, it starts with like an L, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
I have to find this out. That's
bugging me. Even though it's so random, but still bugging me.
It's fine. Yeah, it kind of bugs me. I don't know either. You know,
Linwood?
No.
So you got So you got to go
So,
out
yeah.
here.
It's not Lennox, is it?
That's it.
Lennox,
That's them all.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to go here. They flew me out and gave me they were like, you could stay in this apartment and you're gonna film like, what is it called? I don't remember, but there's like detention. You're gonna film a detention. So I was like, okay, well, this is like, I'm going to put my all into this detention, you know? So I go over there and I like spent like a week out there every day. I'd go to the park and try to line up what tricks I did. And then that was the outcome of that, you know? And then so they were hyped on it. They were like, dude, you did your thing. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And then I heard that there was a trip coming up.
DGK trip.
Yeah. It was like, we're having a trip come up. It's called Fresh Till Death. They never said I was supposed to go on it or nothing. I was just like, I got to get on this trip. Like, I hope to God I make it on this trip.
How are you going to go about doing that?
That was
I
was like, I know it's coming, so let me make sure I snap off here, and then hopefully they get like a buzz. You
That'll
know?
solidify it for sure.
Yeah,
well, because you know that you're in this like tryout phase, quote unquote. Like you need to prove yourself.
Yeah, and it was like you're saying, there wasn't really like DGK didn't have no extra space like that. Like their team was tight.
Right.
They didn't even mess with kids at the time. Like like you get in the van, and it's like there's smoke coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like so it's like. Yeah. So like, so I think just out of the blue, they were like, look, I think we're going to add you to this tour.
Dope.
And I was like, this is crazy.
That's
like,
the zero.
It was such a blessing. I can't even like tell you.
US
it was so
trip?
sick. It was all around America.
Okay.
Like this trip was like almost like 2 months long.
Damn.
That was the zero.
It was
DGK.
that big of a trip. Yeah, it was the Fresh Till Death. It was Zero and DGK combined as a trip.
Right there,
Yeah, and so we both had our van. We had the DGK van and the Zero van, and we literally went like from Cali down to Arizona, down to Texas, down to Florida, all the way up to New York and back around. And I think halfway through the trip, they like flew us home for like a couple days, and then flew us back to wherever we stopped and then finished it off because it was that long. Yeah.
Damn.
And then on that trip, we did a lot of filming, like in different states, you know, in different spots. And I was like, all right, well, it's time to show what you got and really like put some work in.
Yeah.
And
but being in that situation, I mean, like you said, like you're probably motivated. The battery was in your back. You're ready.
Oh yeah,
you know?
for sure. Like I mean, like I lived and breathed skating. Like you know, like I was just like, this is.
And
like,
this is your chance.
And this is my chance. And I was just like, all I want to do is skate. I'm so happy to be here. Like I'm gonna, like let's do it.
Yeah.
What was that like? The DGK and the Zero crew out together on tour. What was it like?
Dude, it was crazy. Like it was like, okay, you had this van where like it was like super clean, a lot of weed smoke. You know what I mean? Like a lot of OGs in the van, and then you go in the next van, and there's like okay, our van's got like joints. You go in the next van, and it's like, you know, Zero, like, you know, like homies with no shoes on, like fucking bong ripping, like cans of beer everywhere, you know, like fucking kind of had a little bit more of a smell to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like raw, like, and then in our van, it was just like, everybody's just like, you know, chilling like this, like, what up, like smoking, like, you know, like just like super chill, like listening to rap the whole time, like just like this, like, you know,
like you would imagine.
Yeah, like that's it. Like, and then their van was just like freaking. Everybody's just like, oh no, like fucking, like you know, like raw,
what was it like? Just how you imagined it. That's what it was like.
Yeah, it was like, you know, and the fucking we'd go to the hotels and fools be jumping off the, you know, the roofs and the pools, and and then we'd just be like, all of us would just be in like the room smoking, like, you know, like just like chilling, like.
So you get back from that tour. Are they going to put, because parental advisory is the next, it's literally like a year after that tour.
Yeah. So at that time, I think they were like, I honestly think like, okay, I don't think I was like on officially then.
Okay.
I didn't even know that they were going to use my footage in parental advisory, but from that trip I stacked, you know, and then they go, okay, like you're going to have a part in parental advisory. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, you know?
It must have went well. It went well.
It went well. They were like, you're going to have a part. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me, dude. This is so sick. Like every little step that I like had like put in front of me, like I made sure I did the best I could, and it worked. It was always like an if.
Right. Is this it? Is this
but then it happened. Yeah, this is it right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I filmed all this stuff with Brad Rosado. Shout out to Brad Rosado, best filmer in the game. You know?
See, I love that. I love the fact that, you know, you had a vision, you knew what you wanted, and you put in the work, you went for it, and it kind of like naturally paid off.
So that's Reno. I had already skated that bump. Yeah.
Got to like bungee. We were bungeeing.
I think so. Yeah, for no reason.
So did they add you before the video, or is this kind of like you were in the video and you're on the team?
They added me in the video before I knew about being in the video, but I had stacked all this footage on the parental advisory trip.
Right.
Oh, Crew. That was my first sponsor, like real sponsor. Crew.
Okay.
First paid sponsor.
Really?
I was in Tampa Am. And I was on DC at the time because I think at that time, see, I'm all in DC. So I moved from audio to DC because I think maybe audio might have went out of business. I don't remember.
I feel like you were at the tail end of it.
Yeah, I was. So then Jimmy Asselford started hooking me up with DC.
We might have been teammates for like a split second.
Possibly.
Because I was on audio.
That was my DGK ad right there.
Which one?
Like that was the welcome. That was the welcome to the team ad and Thrasher they hooked me up with.
This one right here.
Yep, that one right there.
You have a lot of gnarly ass shit, bro.
Nice little rocket, but
there's a photo right there. There's a photo, bro.
Yeah, and they used that photo. They didn't take a nicer kickflip. It was like that. It was like that. You see it in the picture. It's like borderline, we'll take it. It was kind of long. I was like, oh shit.
No, it was big.
That is massive.
I think people were skating it as a manual pad at the time. Like people had tricks of the manual, from the little to the big,
Yep.
That ledge is huge.
That thing is big.
Yeah.
Big, bro. But that must have been a great.
That's probably the biggest stair I ever skated.
So Crew, that wasn't Supra though.
You said you were skating Tampa Am.
So Crew was the first sponsor because I was skating Tampa Am. DC took me out there. They weren't paying me, but they took me out there. Okay,
I love that.
And we were like out at night partying or whatever, and and then Dennis Martin, Dirty Clips, was the TM of Crew, and probably Supra. I'm not sure, but probably so. But Jimmy was like, dude, he's like, you want to get your first sponsor? Like, you want to get paid? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? Like, he's like, it's Crew. And I'm like, duh. Like, what? Like, Crew's sick as hell, And they were like, he's down to pay you. So, and Dirty Clips is from Louisiana. Oh. So I was like, oh, sick. So I see him in the club, and the Dirty Clips is like, hey, you want to ride for Crew? And I'm like, he's like, we'll pay $500 a month. And I was like, say less, let's do it. And then he's like, you're on the team.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was
That's
like,
that Louisiana love right there.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So that was my first paid sponsor right there. Like, and I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Wow.
Shout out to Dirty.
Get a couple bucks, yeah, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Dirty. Yeah, I was super hyped, dude.
Dope.
And then I started getting boxes of Crew, and they were like so big. It was like insane. Like I had so much clothes.
It was
like,
a big company.
The boxes were like this big and like that wide. There's like 15 pairs of jeans and like 30 shirts, and it came every month. I was like, what the hell? Like, yeah.
That's when Crew was going nuts though too.
Yeah, I had so much clothes from them.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like, the dream skate sponsor shit. You're like,
100%.
oh my God, like the box would be at the door. It'd be like bigger than your house. Like oh shit.
Well, because later you got on Supra, right?
Yeah.
But that's like
because,
later.
That's because I was rocking with DC hard.
Yeah.
And then I ended up hurting my ankle on like a Woodward trip. And it took a little longer to heal than expected because I was still like, partying a little bit too. Like I'd drink, skate, because I was just in that. That's what it was a little bit where I was at, like in his Crew. Like we just did it.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what it was.
Yeah.
I think it took me a little bit longer to heal up than they were supposed to cast me, but they were like, no, I think you'll heal. And then it didn't heal quick. One of those things. Right. And then also I went to Canada. The whole trip was there. Like DC took me to Canada. I was like, oh, this is so sick. Like Wes, everybody, Danny Way, the whole team. And then they randomly picked me and Wes out for customs.
Oh.
And they were like, you two come out here. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. You know what I mean? And then like, so I get in front of the customs dude. And then he's like, okay, I need to know everything that you've ever been in trouble from in your whole life. That was literally what he told me. And I had been in trouble for a lot of things, like over the years in different states, like always just random little things like, that like a kid would do. I don't know if it was stealing or missing school or failure to appear in court or, you know what I mean? All these like random little things, nothing like bad like that, but there was just a lot of times where I would get in trouble. I don't know why, but so they asked me about it and I go, right away, and I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to tell you everything. So I'll just try. I'll just try.
Let me give you. Let me give you a summary.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be like, okay, maybe like if I'll just try. So I'm like, oh well, this and that and this and this and that, you know. And he's like, okay, I'll be right back. And then he comes back and he's like, why are you lying to me, dude? Like, you're lying to me. And like, you didn't tell me everything. And I'm like thinking like, well, dude, there's a lot like you're wanting from me right now. Like, like this is kind of crazy. Like you want like start to finish in my life.
Yeah, for you to remember everything.
Yeah. Bro. So, and I go, okay. And so I try some more. And he's like, okay, he goes back and he's like, comes back. He's like, you're lying to me, bro. Like, we're not going to let you in this country. And I'm like, God, you suck. And they're like already waiting for me for a couple hours, you know, or like an hour and a half. So then they put me in a cell. Damn. They go to Canada on the DC trip that I was supposed to go on, and then I go in a cell and they fly me back. And then after that, it kind of like phased out.
Fizzled.
Yeah, literally after that it kind of fizzed out because I was on my way to getting on DC.
Damn.
Like, yeah.
It sucks too because like
that's where it stops.
But Canada's so strict. Like even if you have any like a parking ticket out here, like it's so hard to get in there.
DUI,
man.
If I didn't get picked for customs, I would have been in there.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the fact that I got picked and then I was like juggling my answers a little bit, like they just were whack, you know.
What are you supposed to like? I mean, you said you had a lot of stuff. Like, what are you supposed to pull? Like, keep a card with all your stuff.
Yeah,
on
I
it?
just think like you said, like there's just certain people how they run it, you
Yeah.
know, and that's just one of those dudes. He was just like, yeah, you're not coming in here, kid. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like super simple. Like I'm not even gonna waste my time with you. Like you know.
I just on trips. There's so many trips I've been on to Canada. One person out of all of us can't make it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
I'm not gonna name names, but like people on
trip. Normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, God,
that's
again?
normal. Yeah. So they just picked the kid that really needed that time. I mean, hey, my path went where my path went, but
yeah,
I definitely. I guarantee if I would have made it into that Canada, I would have been on DC.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed, bro. I was doing everything. They were taking me, traveling me. Like it was right there.
They picked the people that like, okay, this guy smokes weed. This guy like, we're gonna try to pinpoint these kids.
For sure. And I definitely probably look like I smoke weed.
I've been that guy too.
Yeah. So.
Damn.
When you when the DC fizzled out, what were you skating? Did you go right to Supra?
What was it? Like honestly, no, I don't think I did. I think I was just kind of like maybe in that part you could see, but I don't know. Like I think I just was chilling for a minute.
Okay.
It's hard to remember exactly. And then I don't even remember who started hooking me up with Supra.
Because you got a pro shoe on Supra.
Oh,
right?
that's what happened. I think maybe Dirty started hooking me up with Supra too, because I think he was the TM.
Yeah.
Louisiana stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up getting on Supra. I don't really remember exactly the transition.
That's okay.
And how,
no, that's fine.
But and I did get a pro shoe. I got so lucky with that. Like it was like kind of the timing things again. Like it was weird how things worked out. So like somebody bought Supra, you know?
Yep.
Like a new dude that was like he had bought the NBA team, whatever, and now he owned Supra after K-Swiss like had bought it too.
Okay, so it was like the third.
Yeah. And then he brought me in to do my new contract, and he was like, hey, look, like we're gonna re-sign you, but we're gonna re-sign you for like a year. And I was just like, I just got on Supra, you know? So I'm like, a year, like come on, man. Like, that doesn't sound like...
Yeah, you invest in it.
Like, I'm like, I want to be a part of this. Like, come on. Like, let's get a little bit more. He's like, okay, well, we want to do a year, so that's what you're going to get. But you can negotiate. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, well, you're giving me a year here. I was like, all right, well, if you're going to give me a year, then I want a shoe. That's what I told him. He's like, done.
Wow.
And I literally was like, okay.
Well, that's
like,
kind of crazy, right?
Because he's not from the skate community like that.
Dude, you take so long. It takes a year to make a shoe.
Exactly.
Dude, literally, I finagled that. Like, it just was like crazy. Like, he was like, okay. I was like, in this year, let's work on the shoe. So.
Did you go quick at it?
Oh,
because you only had a little bit of time.
It was quick. Like he was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't really believe this dude, but sure. And like literally 2 weeks later, we were like in the room and we're like mocking up the shoe, getting the colors. Like,
but that automatically lines you up for another contract,
exactly.
because
yes,
because
I think
what are they gonna do? Make the shoe?
No, you're right. Yeah. I don't necessarily. You might be right. Yeah, because this dude probably didn't even really know what he was doing.
No.
So I'm already getting the shoe right. Like and like we're working on the shoe the whole year, and then it came quick though. And
like
then
how
boom,
quick?
Probably like 6 months, bro.
Oh, wow.
Like literally, like probably like 6 months. It was quick.
That is.
So, you know, and then boom, I had my shoe out, and I don't think like I had my, so I honestly think I might have had like a little extended bit, just no contract. I don't remember, but like, yeah, that shit rode for a little bit, you know, until once they got Mario Miller came in and he was TMing after Dirty because Dirty left, and like I was wild. I wasn't really trying to listen. He was a new TM, and like we kind of had like appreciate all the love. Like he was a dope dude, you know. But then I think I was just a little harsh in areas.
Okay.
And then and then like I got let go. And then I was like, damn, there's not many people for Supra anymore. Like, I was like, to be letting me go, like, it's like, well, I mean, I'm not everything, but I'm like, you should probably hang on to the riders. And then boom, like now, like right after that shit just went under. Like, not right after me, but pretty much.
Right.
It was just like, okay, like you only have a couple riders left. Keep it going, you know.
It's hard when companies start selling and then they sell again and they sell again and then it ends up in some hands. It's you kind of know. It's like, totally. The end is near. The end is near. That was same thing that happened with audio. They kept selling and like, whatever, you know.
Yep. So
Supra, but you got a shoe.
Yeah.
You must have got a couple royalties.
I got a shoe. There was so many heavy hitters on that team that didn't get a shoe. And I was like Boo Johnson, Spencer Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
Like
Romar, huh?
Romar, like he might. Yeah, I don't even know if he had a shoe. There was like heavy hitters, dude. And I'm like, wow, I got a shoe? Like, that's crazy. Like, I was like, so that was just basically for me. I was like, another check off the list. Like,
and another check in the mail, huh?
I was like, I don't even care. I was like, I don't even care if this thing lasts. Like, at least I got it. Like,
short-lived, we'll take it.
Yeah, short-lived, we'll take it. Like,
but wait, we went to this pro shoe. How did you get your first pro board?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we did skip to the shoe. It's very exciting. Right?
But great things you accomplished.
We were already talking about shoe stuff.
I mean, the pro board came from. So I did the parental advisory part.
Yep.
You know, and then they opened up that big KO store on Fairfax, and then the whole KO team was pictures on the side of it. You know, so I was like, oh shit! I'm like, you know, there I am, like with the whole squad of like OGs I grew up watching. And then that was there, and then they were like, okay, Brad was like, okay, like it's time to film for your pro, like it's time to film for a pro part. Like not like you're going pro, but like let's see if you can do it.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, like so it was just like, it was like, here's spots. Brad's always down with just giving spots. Like every day there's a new list of spots. Every day there's like the van there to pick you up.
Very
like,
helpful.
Yeah.
Very like, you know, like very helpful.
Like we have your back.
You don't know how bad it is when you don't have that.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like crazy. So, so I just went to spots and I was just like, let's just really throw it down. Let's try to get hammers. Like even if it was uncomfortable for me to like skate what I was skating, like I was like, okay, like that's not what's going to get you to where you want to be. So like get rid of that mindset and start hucking and start figuring out how you're going to really like, you know, go from this level to the next level. And it's probably going to be with you being uncomfortable, skating things you don't want to skate, and really like bucking up and making it happen. You know you could do it. You know that like you have these tricks and like, but you need to step it up.
So you're really like thinking about this, like detail. How do I put this together so that they're gonna?
No, it wasn't detailed. It wasn't like I never was that person.
Okay.
I was always like, okay, whatever spot I showed up to, I'll figure out the trick.
But you were thinking about it,
but I was thinking about it. Oh yeah,
this is gonna happen.
I was thinking about it 100%. Like my brain, all it was thinking was like, okay, like I need to put this together. This is the time. Like I need to skate hard.
Right.
Yeah. And so.
But you're very spontaneous with it when you would pull up. It's not like you would be planning it out.
No. Okay. No. It was always just like we're at the spot, and then I'd be like, okay, I think I could do this.
So.
And then let's try it.
Yeah.
If I didn't like the spot, we'd go. It was never like, oh, I got a trick for this spot. Never like that. It would be like, oh, I think like he'd show me the spot. I'd be like, I think I maybe could try that, or well, let's just go check it out. And we'd go there, and then. Like that was it. And for the longest period of time, like it was like if I didn't get a trick that day, like I would like try till the end. If I didn't get it that day, I'd never go back.
Seriously,
never go back.
You wouldn't have in your mind to go.
No, I do now, but before I would never go back because it would piss me off. If I didn't get it that day, I'd be like, fuck that trick.
But you did. That's so crazy because you almost want to conquer.
I would go to the dead end though. I'd be like, this is like gonna happen. If it didn't happen, I would be pissed and I'd be like, I would go back to it.
So you would go. You would go till you your legs couldn't even walk.
Oh, I would battle, bro. I'm a battler for sure. Yeah, I will go like I will go till it's like you might as well just stop now.
That's insane.
I'm leaving that behind.
I love moving forward. It's weird, but I love it at the same time. Because for me, it's like, no, I want to go back. I want to get that thing. That thing defeated me, but I'm gonna go get. I
think that's more of like a very structured mind, like a mind that's like almost like taking notes. You know what I mean? Like, and my mind was very free for all. Like, you know, now I'm very like in my life now I'm very structured, and I want to write down spots, and I want to like take the time that I didn't take before to really appreciate things and move forward in more of a professional way. Back then it was just like, okay, like I'm just like doing what I love, and I'm just spontaneous, and this is what it is, and if I don't like this, I don't like that, like, and that's kind of where it was. But like I wish I did have like that back then. That's what I'm telling you now, that like where my mind is now, it's like I'm really paying attention to what I can make happen in like a very professional way.
I feel like it worked for you back then, though.
It did.
I feel like
definitely did.
It did.
If you wish you were back then, but you were the way you were, and it worked.
But
out.
I think it did. You can never go back.
No,
but I know if I
100%,
had like a more structured mind, it could have been crazier. It could have been crazier.
For sure.
Was this the part? Yeah. Was it crying out?
I feel you on that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It could have been crazier for
this
sure.
Was the part right here?
And you already were killing it, so it's just like that threshold could have been just that much more. Wow.
For sure.
This is the part you put together.
Ooh, that's gnarly, dude.
This is it. This is the part that turned me pro right here. Yeah, this is the one.
That's the OG spot.
That's the OG one before they took the rail there.
Yeah.
What music was it in? What would you skate to?
It was like.
We can't listen to it because of copyright.
I forget, like, honestly. It was, like,
Did
definitely...
you pick it?
Brad picked it. Okay. It was a rap song. Like,
I
don't remember the, you know... It was, like, some OG shit, though, you know? Like, it's like... Do you remember? It might have been, like... I don't remember, honestly.
It's fine. It's fine. I just wondered. I was wondering because sometimes... It's interesting to see... Sometimes people are super involved with their parts. Sometimes they're not. This is your pro part. You know,
I was never a crazy big music person, bro. Okay. Like I always I don't skate with speakers. Like I hear the board, you know, I always was with homies and friends. So like I didn't drive, like everything was somebody else putting it on. Like
I got you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love music, but I was never the one picking it out all the time. It just wasn't, you know, I was just more in the moment.
So you get the video done. It comes out now. Are they now saying like you're pro now, or now we're getting ready for a board, or how did that talk?
Yeah, I think I got the part done, and then they go, yeah, we're gonna. I think they were like,
Well, they would have dropped the part and the board, no? At the same time.
So they did. They did an after party for me, or not an after party, but a pro party for me at the KO store. So they had the boards there. They invited everybody. They did the turning pro part. They played the part. It's a
little premiere party.
Yeah, and it was like super sick. Like, I was super grateful. It was a great turnout. Like, you know.
Did you have any say on your graphic, or
no? They did it all themselves. Like I remember finding that spot, and I was so juiced. Like this little that was like a Vintage Trucks ad. Like I seen it because I was really like on my ollies back then.
Okay,
and then I was like. And I seen that, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude. Like that, like needs to get ollied, you know?
That
like,
is wild. You could get jacked on that.
Oh yeah, it's tight, real tight space, and like some dude, like he carved his driveway to like you could tell he likes his house. He like paved it nice
himself,
yeah. And then I was like, okay, it was still a yanked ollie, but I was like, this is like one of those spots you find, you got to do it.
Oh damn,
that's crazy.
I think I remember that venture ad.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I gotta do it, even though, and Quail was in the van too. You know, Quail, he's got crazy ollies. So I was literally like, yo, look, check it out. I was like, we're going to this spot that I found, right? I was like, I don't want nobody hopping out of this van. Quail, sit down, right? And like, he was like, all right. I mean, he didn't really get it. And I'm like, no, bro, like this is an ollie.
This is my shit.
I was like, this is an ollie spot.
One
like,
trick spot.
Yeah, like this is an ollie spot. I don't know if somebody might have kickflip. I really don't know, but right now it was ollie. So I'm like, sit down. We get there and Quail hops up. Yo, like, yo, jumps in the spot. Like, bro, what did I tell you? Like,
you forewarned me too, bro.
Pull back. Like, he was that juiced because it was like that spot.
That's his spot. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And he was kind of bummed, but I'm like, bro, this is like, you know, this is it. Like, this is my ollie. Like, so I had to do it because like it was even like I gotta do it because, you know, the other homies over there like
don't even give him an opportunity, bro. Straight up.
I love that.
Yeah. So
that was sick. So it must feel good though, the journey, right? And then finally reaching it. had a pro shoe, got the board. Like, I don't know. I mean, and on DGK, no less. Like, coming from Louisiana, little kid, going, moving around, and then finally ending up on DGK.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, bro.
It's, trust me, I was literally like, I would have took just being a professional skater. Like, I always wanted to be, when I heard that you could when I first heard as a kid that like pro skaters were getting paid, because I always wanted to be like a pro baseball player or something. Like, I was always like into sports. So I was like, oh, like you can, then I got introduced to skating, and then I was like, I fell in love with it. And then they also told me that you could get paid for it. And then I was like, what the hell? Like, you could get paid for this? Like, oh shit, fuck everything else. So I literally had that kind of a passion with skating, and I just stick with it all the way. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And like, I'll take whatever comes, like, you know? But I never thought like I would be like on the level of skating that I am and where I'm at. Like, this is way further than I ever would have thought that I would have been, to be honest with you.
It's funny how it all works out.
Yeah, like, to be honest with you. And then like the whole Instagram thing, like that was like, you know, that's really what pushed me to turn pro, to be honest with you.
How so?
Is because like when I first started doing Instagrams, like all these people were already like moving, and like people knew who these pros were, and they didn't, like, they didn't really know who I was. Like, I turned AM for DGK, and I was like, oh shit, like Instagram was out, but it wasn't really videos like that yet. And they were like, I was like, oh, maybe like just in the next week, like people will just like start following me, know who I was. No, it was not like that. And I was like, you know, that's what I thought though, maybe, hopefully. And it wasn't like that. So I was like, damn, like I got to do something, because there's not a video coming out. Like, we just had our video. Like, there's not a video coming out for a while. So like, what am I going to do, you know? So I was like, all right. Then the video just started coming on Instagram. I was like, I'm going to post myself skating on Instagram. Like, that's what I'm going to do, because the world's looking at Instagram, and no companies have a video for me to be a part of. So I was like, I got to film for the video part, and I got to film for Instagram and post it out there. And there was skaters that were like, bro, I'm not fucking with you. Like, that's weird. Like, you're over here.
Self-promotion.
Yeah, you're over here putting yourself on Instagram, like, video part. Like, what is that?
It was very weird. It was very new to skateboarding.
Yeah, they were like, that's weird. And I was like, look, I'm not where you are in skating, and I want to get there.
What pros are doing that?
I mean, I'm not going to drop names.
Oh, dude, so many people were doing that.
I'm not going to drop names, but there was people in my DMs that were like, yo, bro, like, that's like, you're tripping.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm not going to fuck with you no more. And then later down the line, I was like, you know what? I'm not where you are. That's fine. You could feel that way. But I believe this is going to work for me.
You don't remember when video first came and people were kind of bugging on it? They were like not posting their stuff. They were self-promotion.
No, they were completely against it. But that's because most of the people that were doing that were the people that were already chilling.
They were already
they were already established. Yeah. So I was like, I got to figure out how to be you, you know?
Yeah.
And
I never really hated on Instagram like that. I think, and the video thing obviously came later.
Yep.
So, I mean, we started getting on that. I remember specifically we were in China, and it was around 2010, maybe 2011.
That was when Instagram started.
Yeah. That's when we first started. So we were already self-promoting ourselves to a degree.
But we were taking pictures of like
random
a sunset
shit.
or something.
Yeah, true. If I go back and look at my first
like,
10
we were like,
shit, it
who
was
had the
definitely
best sunset photo?
Yeah,
and
in the popular page.
That is so pretty. Like, how did you get that professional photo? Like,
no, you're right. You're right.
Hipstamatic.
And then the video came in, and people didn't know what to do with the video. They're like, what do we even film? Like, it's a picture thing. Let's go back to the photo.
Yeah.
But then I was like, all right, wait, I think I could do something with the video. So I was like, all right, let me put myself skating. And then, dude, like, that really took me off to the next level. Like, I started getting a lot of like exposure from like my videos, and then everybody always asked me, they were like, how are you filming a part and then posting everything on your Instagram? Like, what is your part even going to look like? And I was just like, well, when I go to a spot, I get the Instagram clip, and then I go get the real clip.
You were on it way before everybody in that sense.
Somehow, another blessing. Yeah. Like, I don't know I was on it like that, but it happened to be, you know? And then,
if you're thinking about, like, I'm filming a clip for, like, the video, and then I'm filming a clip for Instagram, like, ain't nobody was thinking like that in the beginning.
Yeah. You know? No, that's what set me up, and I was getting a lot of, like, exposure from that, and it took me from, like, not many people knowing who I was to like now the world knew who I was.
Well, also because it's this new thing, it's video, so now everybody can get their little skate clips.
Yeah.
They can get their fill of skateboarding.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it only took about a year. Like in about a year, like
Yeah.
I had certain people coming back to me and be like, you know what, dude, I was wrong for that. Like,
okay.
you know, like I appreciate like, you know, like what you did. Like, yo, I just don't know where my mind was. Cause then now they see what like where it is.
It's all a different
now.
path. They didn't.
Yeah.
It was we went the original path that we grew up on.
Yeah,
You're like,
for
no,
sure.
you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
now. There's something
Yeah.
new happening.
It's also new. Like when new things happen, it's tough, especially with the old school skate mentality.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Nowadays you can't have that mentality because you want to push your shit. You want to make sure people know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't, then what are you? Not saying what are you doing this for, because I'm doing it for the love, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, if you want to make money for your company or get promotion for your company, like this is just what it is.
Well,
or if you want to continue doing what you
That
love
too, relevancy.
and financially providing for yourself and whoever you're around through what you love, like then you might as well take the steps you need to take to do it.
And look where it changed. It flipped. Now the companies are looking to you to get clips for their Instagram and their promotion, and you promoting yourself. When it used to be, we used to wait for the company to tell us like, oh, we need to add, we need this, we need that. We're going to take you here.
Yeah.
It's flipped.
Yeah. It's flipped.
Yeah.
It's flipped. Yeah.
What do you think?
You know?
The interesting part at that point, I didn't personally care what other people thought, but what about your sponsors? Those like at that time, I feel like some people, when you rode for a company, didn't understand what was going on either. Right?
Yeah, I could see that for sure, but I don't think anybody, none of my sponsors were worried about it. They were just like,
well, because you were filming video part stuff too, and then also clips.
Yeah. So they didn't even question it.
That would
was
be
just
silly
like,
on their behalf.
Yeah, they didn't even question it. And you know,
working.
all those people were cool anyways. You know, every like all the people from KO and Brad and like. They were just like they looked at me more like you're kind of crazy. Like, they looked at me like you're nuts, like because you're over here filming crazy shit for Instagram, and then you're literally still getting your spots, and I'd still be skating at the end of the day, and people would be like, "What's wrong with you? Like, how do you have this much energy?" But I had that much energy.
Yeah.
Like I literally could go all day, skate all day, like you know.
I love that.
Just like hard to stop, you know.
Man, it's so. Yeah. I love it. I love this. Is why I love the show, man. Because like the story, like you coming from Louisiana, like it's just, dude, it's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
And ending up on DGK, still on DGK. We got the new board right here, bro.
Yeah.
This is modeled after the car you got right here. Is this your car?
Nope, it's not my car, but you know I would take it. I'll take it.
Take whatever comes your way, man.
That's a nice car right there.
Yeah, we just dropped it. I think it's maybe a Monte Carlo.
Right.
Like, I was like trying to Google search it. They know, but like anyways, like somebody knows. Shout out, put it in the comments. But yeah, so the new pro model right here, Grizz. It's an 8.1. It's not my size. I skated 7.9. But yeah, man, y'all go show some love, bro. Support, man. Like we need all the support. You already know what it is. I want all my homies skating the board.
Wait a minute, you skated 7.9?
I skated 7.9.
Why not an 8?
Yeah. You know what? I tried an 8 before.
Okay.
I used to skate 7.8.
Okay.
And then
you bumped it up.
I bumped it up
a point.
recently because I think they started getting low on 7.8s, and then they sent me a box of 7.9s, and I was like, all right, like I kind of want to try to get up a little bit. So I was like, I'll try the 7.9. And then I stuck with the 7.9. But I have tried an 8 before. And when I would try to do my flips into tricks and grinds and stuff like that, like I started getting a little bit of like shin splint.
Interesting.
So it was a little too heavy for me.
Well, you know, also too the
Like,
8s.
and I'd feel it in my shins when I'm flicking. Like I would feel sore shins from just that little bit of like
heavier
weight.
to pick
Yeah.
up. I feel the same way.
I feel like the
So I
8s
just stuck
sometimes
with it.
they have a longer wheelbase too.
Like longer like this.
Yeah.
It's a little longer too. And that's another thing. I was like, you know what? Like, let's keep it short. I don't want to nut no board. Like, you know, like I'm already good with this. That half inch could be the death of me. Like, I'm good. Like,
let's keep it short.
You know what I mean?
God,
Like, I'm good.
I love it.
So right now we got the what are we working on? Are we working on a video part? What are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, right now, like, I
We
think
mentioned the contest. You're kind of getting more out there with getting out there.
Definitely
want
to enter more contests. So, like, you know, whenever there's contests that
Hit 'em up.
you would love to have me appear at, let me know. I would
send
love
the
to be
dates
out
his way,
there.
please.
Yeah. Come on, I'm ready. I've been training. I've been practicing. Like, I'm with it. Like, it's only gonna be a growth process from here.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Also, yeah, I'm working on. I know DGK's like got a new filmer, Anthony Capistrano. He's dope.
Okay.
He's been holding it down. So I'm filming with him to get like another part with DGK going.
Dope.
I also have been working on a side part with my homie Michael Jason Perry. For like I'm trying to get it on Thrasher. So hopefully next year, because it's kind of like the end of the year now. So let's go.
Everybody's
Let's
making
start
a little push.
Trying to get the
There's a
date.
whole- yeah.
So shout out Thrasher. You know what I mean? Like I want to get like that part that I've been working on with Michael starting around next year in the beginning. And then I also been working on another project with Brad Rosado, like on the sidelines. So we're going to film a part with him. So I'm kind of just like, I'm staying busy. Like, I'm like, okay, like you ready today? Like whatever I can get. And I'm just like positioning all the tricks up and stacking so I can really have like a bang, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like let's get it all going.
Dude,
so I'm in the streets doing that. I'm doing the contest. I'm with Danny Minnick a lot in the studio, working with him. Like, he's always held me down. He's always like, been a big support and how do you say it? Like a mentor. Yeah, there you go. He's been a great mentor because I love art. I paint a lot. I have a lot of canvas. I've really never showed anybody my art like that. I mean, I put it on Instagram a little bit, but I have a lot of canvases that are just wrapped up. No show yet, I just store them up until I'm ready to really like, put it out there like in a professional way. I want it to be like really thought out and like.
We had Danny Minnick on the show. He's great. He's old school filmer, skater. Mm-hmm. How did you hook up with him?
So I skate for BP too. So Brooklyn when I came to LA, I was like, I need somewhere to hook my boards up, So they always were down to be like, yo, shout out Dom DeLuca. He was like, yo, come through, like put your boards up, like put your, set them up. And so ever since then I go there, I set my boards up. And I seen Danny like through their Instagram or something. He like pulled up like to BP and then someone put him on the story and I was like, so I went on his Instagram and I seen that he was a painter. And I was like, whoa, like who is this skater painter? I didn't know much about him before that, to be honest with you. And then so I like followed him. I was like, boom, follow, and then he followed me back and then we just kind of like, I was like, oh, let's link up one day. And then we linked up and then ever since then, like we just been homies. Like, and like, yeah, he's just been like,
he's a good dude.
Come hang out, like let's do this, like freaking he'll stop at Supreme and be like, get whatever you want at the Supreme store because he sells his paintings for a lot, bro. Like, like, he's a great artist. Bro. So he's just like, there's been so many times where he's just like taking care of me, like, food. Dude, he's just a great guy.
It's crazy to see people come up. I mean, he did Iron Man's gym.
Yeah, I was there.
You went out there?
I filmed him the whole time, with an iPhone. Yeah, I've filmed the whole gym. Yeah,
you met Iron Man.
I never met Iron Man. Okay. No, actually, I did at his wedding.
Whose wedding?
Danny's wedding. He had his wedding at the top of the chateau.
Photo? No, Iron Man came to his wedding. That's amazing. And
you know what he did? He set Chad Muska. Chad Muska came to his wedding. He didn't this when he Danny came on the 9 Club. He hadn't been back from his farm in a while because he went. Shout out to Muska. Mm-hmm. He went to his farm out where he's from. I forget the state, but Danny invited him to his wedding. So Muska came out, right, and so Danny placed all the chairs like. Right, and then so when he was getting married, he put Muska right next to Bob.
Wow!
Right next to Iron Man. So Muska sits down. He looks over. He's like, "Oh my god! Like,
what's up, dog? Oh shit! Iron Man! Oh,
and it was at the top of the chateau. So he got married at the chateau. Yeah, that's sick.
No, Danny's killing it, man. Bro, shout out. It's cool to see. It's cool to see. Like,
so I'm just over there. Like I like. He like hooks me up, like he pays me to do some extra work in the studio. I'm learning from him, like, so it's like I'm doing all the extra stuff too, like, I'm doing that with him, like learning a lot from him, like, helping
this is some of your stuff right here.
Oh, this is some old painting stuff, yeah, for sure. Like I'm sure there's some videos up there.
Well, this is from a long time ago.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah. I haven't posted in a while, but like most of my art is like not so mapped out. Like I don't really think about what I do. I just kind of go with it. But you never know. Maybe later down the line, I might have a different process. But
you're gonna try to have like a show or like what?
I will have a show. Yeah. I will have a show. I still do art like every day. I have art like hanging in my living room. Like I have my paints right there. Like, so I just paint. I don't always show it, but I'm always painting.
I love that, dude. I was watching Bob Ross the other day. Yeah. Bob Ross, man, I wanted to almost start painting. He was,
dude, Bob Ross is
he makes it look like you could just do it. Well, he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's like,
that's why he's Bob Ross.
I know.
Because he's like, if you just put it right here. And then you're like, you try to do the same thing, and it's just like, nothing's the same.
It's horrible.
You're like, all right, Bob Ross. Like,
I already know that. But he's got this kind, gentle vibe.
He's dope.
Do a little sky right here. Do whatever you want, though.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Let it come
That's
to you.
how he drills you in. He's like, do whatever you want, because it's whatever you want is what it is. Like, you're like, it's not Bob Ross. He's like,
dude. But I was like,
I love Bob Ross.
He's great. But he makes you believe that I can do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get all the, I know for a fact, I'm going to get all the paint supplies. I'm going to spend a lot of money. I'm going to get some canvases. I'm going to do this thing. And it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
And I can't, I'm going to throw it away. And I'm going to leave all the paints there. I'm going to do it one time. And then that's it. Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Get inspired to do it once.
Bro, but he makes you feel, Dubs. Like, you watch Bob Ross tonight. When you go home and you'll be like, damn, I'm going to go get some paint.
I'm going to.
Chris, you should make a painting, dude. Yeah. You should try it one time, replicate one painting that Bob Ross has done.
Oh, we got to show another part too. My homie did. Like,
what do we got?
We got to show my homie Dylan Hamlet. So after I turned pro, I had another part. It was called Graw.
Okay.
So that was like all K-Town. Like the majority of it was like K-Town. My homie, shout out Dylan Hamlet. He held me down. My other homie, Godfrey Austin.
You lived down there, right? You lived, is that around your zone that you lived?
Yeah, so K-Town, like, I moved to K-Town, and I was like, all right, like, this is a whole new stomping ground. So I was like, this is all looks just like we could go and do whatever. It's all new to me. That's one thing about it is, like, I love skating things, but I love skating new things. I really do. I'm like, because obviously all the moving around, like, I just love to, like, be skating new stuff. But yeah, so we did this part too.
Dope.
I was skating on for Mighty Healthy at the time too. We did some stuff in New York with Mighty Healthy. Shout out Ray. Yeah, Ray Mate.
So this is how long did this part take you to film?
This one took about like probably 7 months. Not long.
Months?
Yeah, within the year.
I mean, it's almost a 5-minute part, bro.
Within the year. This was like didn't take longer than a year. Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, it was quick.
Dude, just recently
we were just out there hitting spots every day.
Dude, speaking of filming and speaking of everything, I stumbled upon you and CJ on his vlog. Skating together in the car. I was like, dude, this is so sick. I hit him up. I'm like, please keep doing these. These are amazing, bro.
Yeah, CJ's been killing it, dude. He was all hyped. He was like, yo, he's like, dude, we got the, he's like, when you got on, we got the ill views. I was like, hell yeah, that's what's up. He's been on it.
Dude,
he's like, I'm going to do this YouTube thing and I'm going to really like crush it. And like, I'm going to just like, this is the route I want to go. And I'm like, dude, that's dope, dude. Because it's like, honestly, like, it's like, if you're like a music artist, and you have like songs that live forever. It's the same thing here. It's like you do this YouTube stuff, it's gonna live forever. It's gonna be there. So it's like it's however you take that in whatever format you want to do it in, and you know, and that's gonna be forever.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Like, as we can see, my parts popping up from years back. We're still watching them. Like,
totally,
all day. Like you know.
Yeah,
like,
but Serial, he's still killing it, bro. He'll set up his little phone and thing at the skate spot and just be rifling off tricks on the hubba and everything. I'm like, bro,
he's a beast.
He's killing all realms.
He's a complete beast, dude. There's no stopping him. He's just as good at skating as he's ever been. Dude. Like,
I just saw some fire ass fucking freestyle he did not that long ago. I was like, bro. I was like, usually I'm not that say I don't pay attention to dudes that be free, like rapping and shit, especially in the skate world. But like for some reason I watched it and I was fucking highly impressed, bro. I was tripping.
Yeah,
I left a little comment. I'm like, bro, and I wouldn't do that.
You got the flow?
Yeah, bro, he killed it.
Yeah, because it's like okay, skate or not skate, right? But if your music low key slaps, like it has to slap. Like it needs to really hit right.
And have you feel something.
His shit is like that.
Yeah.
Like he's really got like a great flow and like what he's saying is sick. Exactly. Yep. So it's like it's undeniable when somebody's talented. You know, it's like what can you do?
Is he in North Hollywood too? He's in the
he's in North Hollywood too. Yeah.
It was just so fun to watch you guys both like get out the car. Like there was a gap and like. I think he switched ollied it or you switched ollied it or something. You're like, yo, let me get in there. And like you got kicked. There was like cop cars right there. There was like at a police station. I don't know. It was just fun to watch.
Okay, cool.
And you guys were just kind of vibing out. It was dope.
Yeah, we have like some good history too.
It was dope.
Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah.
Man. So we got the video part that you're going to film. Well, sounds like multiple video parts.
I mean, hey, like it's like if it drops all next year, which that's my goal.
Okay.
Then look at that. That's a nice fulfilled year right there. Like
nice on our board here.
Nice little sponsors.
I mean,
hyped. Yeah.
Like Sody run, huh?
Yeah. There was a point in time, a couple years back, where I wasn't like, like I was always skating. I just don't think I don't think my priorities were correct. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like, all right, like I'm capable of really like giving myself what I want and, you know, exceeding what I've done. Yeah. And that's where we're at. That's what I'm going to do. Like it's, you know, I'm going to really put that pedal to the metal.
Well, I'm a big fan and I can't wait to see more Dane Vaughn.
Amazing.
I mean, when we were just, like I said, I'm going to bring it back full circle because when we first started, we talked about Des Moines and just, you know, sometimes I don't get to see people skate in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I've ever really skated with you, like at a skate spot. So it's just fun to like actually see you out there, like just killing it, bro. Like, it's sick.
Appreciate you guys.
It's really dope.
Real.
Yeah.
I can't believe you kickflip manualed that GAPTA thing, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, I seen, I was all, because there was like a contest at, in front of like Agenda one year, like in Long Beach.
Oh,
and there was a flat gap.
Oh, it was a flat gap, okay.
And there was an over the table.
Okay.
And I remember there was like a 10-footer over there or something. I'm really good at the kickflip nose manuals at the time, like still am, but whatever. So I'm like, all right, let me try kickflip nose manual. So I kickflip the gap to nose manual. And I was like, all right, so I'm already used to this like far gap. I skate a lot of like street gaps, you know? So I'm like, all right, let me just like try it. Yeah, I'm like, let me just try this out. So it worked. But then I seen John Dillo, shout out John Dillo. He was doing the gap nose manual 180. I'm like, all right, like I need to get in there too. You know, like, let me get in there too.
And it was weird because it was like soft ground. It was almost like roof ground. It was like really bizarre, but you guys were killing it, bro.
Yeah,
it was sick, dude.
You got to go back and get some clips there, dude.
I mean, I'll probably be back next year. Yeah. I mean, I got a speeding ticket. We were heading to Minnesota. Oh, so we were out there. Right, in Iowa. And then I didn't know that Minnesota was like 3.5 hour drive. And we had an extra day. And I hadn't been back to Minnesota since I left.
Seriously?
Literally, I was like, I'll make it back there one of these days on a skate trip or something. Never made it back. Out of all the times I was traveling, skating, everything, never made it back. So I was like, oh shit, like this is the time, if any time. So I went back and I seen my homies that I hadn't seen in years. So we still kind of stay in contact here and there, but they all popped up. We all had a like big old like homie like hangout, and yeah, it was sick, dude. Good to see all the homies back.
Do you see those homies through Instagram and like that's how you?
Not really. They're not crazy Instagrammers. Okay. No, they'll like have like some of them have an Instagram, some of them don't. Like, and if they do, it's like a picture of their dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
not active like that.
Yeah. So.
But you said you got a speeding ticket.
Yeah, I got a speeding ticket. I was like going like I was like, what the heck? Like I'm going 90 miles an hour. You know, like. Like, it was a straight road. It's, like, hard to tell, you know?
But you're, like, in the middle of nowhere, too,
right?
I'm
like, I was speeding 90 miles an hour. I'm like, God, this is, like... And then I look in my rear view, and I'm like, I think there's a cop, right? So I'm like, let me just try to kind of ease down. And I'm, like, easing down. And I'm like, it's, like, 87. I'm like, that's not going to work. Yeah. And then he just lit me up. Like, oh, shit.
You tried.
So, yeah, I just paid my ticket. You know, we paid the ticket. So it's all, like, it literally had, like, a defendant. Like, it looked like, okay, if you don't pay this ticket, this state is going to fucking rail it up your, you know what I mean? Like,
don't come back here.
Yeah, so I knew that right off the bat. I was like, I got to pay this fucking ticket that looks like a court date, right? Already on it.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. Like, let's pay this Iowa ticket. Like,
we're staying out of trouble these days, right? We're staying out of trouble
for sure. I already know how that works. It's like one after the other. Let's get this over with. Yeah, so,
dude, Dane, bro, we got to give you some 9 Club stuff. Do you mind?
No, I would love some 9 Club stuff. Yeah, man.
Oh, Kelly, do we do the honors, dude?
Please. Yeah, me too, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for like taking your time listening. Thank you everybody too, man. I appreciate you guys out there, bro. Everybody showing love.
What size tee are you?
I'm a medium. Yeah, I usually do large, but we're gonna like it's fine. Yeah,
and you're slimming it down a little bit.
Before we forget though, because I want to mention Straye. I mean, you got the Straye's got your back.
Stray's been holding me down, bro. Like ever since Angel, like ever since I was off of Supra, I was kind of like juggling where I should be with the shoes, and then I realized that Angel was the one. Angel Cabada, shout out to him. Like he was the one who started TSA Clothing. He started Supra.
A lot of big
he started Crew.
Yep.
He started, and I was like, all right, this dude's a mogul in the skate scene. Like, he, like, really, like, knows how to run a brand. And then he was starting Straye, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and see what he thinks about me getting some shoes. So he was like, all right, like, shot me some shoes. And then from that point on, it became me writing for Straye. And I was like, dude, I'm with a guy that knows how to run a business. I've seen his track record. Like, this dude's going to hold me down. Let's grow.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So.
They never really, like, tell you who's on the squad. Like,
because it's not necessarily, like, it's
Because I see Boo or like
right.
Antoine.
We have shoes and we're a part of the brand, but it's more like a squad. It's not
so
like
it's being done a different way.
It's not necessarily a skate team. Okay. It's more of like a crew.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it is.
That's more understanding now.
Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, their stuff looks really good. I've never tried this. I've never tried the shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe I get a little box or something.
No, man. But, they're like, okay, so there's been like, he's really particular about how he puts his shoes, like how he like builds the quality of the shoe.
Oh wow.
So like there as the years gone on, he's like perfected like the same shoe. Okay. Like the same shoe, he's given different models, but he's real precise. Like he'll move like the sole like this much. He'll fucking, widen the sole, thin out the tongue. Like it's like to the point now where it's like you put a Straye on it and it's like, wow, this is quality.
Interesting. So he's got the like one shoe and he's just perfecting that shoe.
Oh yeah, he's a real he's like OCD with it. Yeah. Wow. He's like he's real talented. Cool stuff.
It looks very clean.
Yeah.
Right? It's got
and see how it looks it looks is like that's how it's gonna look when it's on. Like it fits great, it holds great.
Kelly,
so
it looks cool, dude. I'd love to try a pair, man.
Yeah, man. Let's get you some shoes.
Yeah?
I got the
plug?
Jeremy Adams is the one. Shout out to Jeremy Adams. He's the one that's holding down the Straye. Like send out. They just get the approval from Angel, and then boom, we'll get you some Strays for sure.
We'll see.
Put a couple right here.
We'll see if it's in the background.
We're just gonna need to see that for the next couple people.
Come on, bro. Maybe I'll get a slappy trick in them. Come on.
Yeah, we need all that. No switch foot manual.
Well, maybe not a switch manual. Maybe a slappy.
Yeah, that's all right. You got the
curb.
You got the tail devil on your foot, like when you slap it. The flame. The flame.
You know what? I mean, that's their kind of like their little logo.
Yeah, that's their logo. The flame. Yeah. Sick. Yeah.
Dude, Dane, first of all, bro.
Man, I appreciate you, Chris.
I appreciate you, dude. Big fan. Keep up
the good to see you, brother.
Keep up
Dane. Hell yeah, dude.
Keep out there killing it, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Look at this.
Yes.
9 Club. You got a trucker on right now. This is the best trucker hat you'll ever. He's gonna put it on right now.
Shit, let's hit it,
bro. It's the best trucker hat.
I got a small head though, so that ain't gonna work.
Oh, you gotta
really put it, bro. You gotta put it down. Yeah. See, that's the one right there.
How does that feel, bro? It's
good.
It
feels good. It's kind of. I like the short.
It's shallow.
That's the ones you want. You want the shallow one.
Yeah, I don't want the shit to be all both.
You don't want it. It's like your head's here, but the hat's like here. Yeah. It's like, come on.
It works for some people, but it don't work for me.
Put the socks in there,
Yeah, no, for sure. Cool. Here we go. We got a 9 Club tee right here for you. Boom. Look at that. Okay.
Thank you.
And look, we got the Yeti. You got to stay hydrated.
I love that. I'm in the gym a lot now too, so that'll go perfect. Yeah,
dude,
we're in the
fill
gym.
that up with some hydration.
Nice. Yes.
Socks, 9 Club. We're hooking you up with all the goodies,
oh, man,
bro.
You guys are so generous, man.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Also,
I appreciate you guys.
Keep those tunes flowing, man. You know what I'm saying? Got the Skull Candy,
we got to start
Crusher.
with the music sometime. Huh?
Yeah, there you go. You know you ain't into it that much, but hey.
I know. I actually have No, I have the Dre Beats, but these are going to be my skate headphones.
Okay. Dude, these are great. Yeah. You could control the bass and everything.
That's crazy. That's just like low-key like a mood board, huh? Or a music board.
Dude, it's really good, bro.
No, those are good, dude.
Are they?
Yeah, hell yeah.
They crush.
They really do.
That's crazy.
We got some bolts, bro. We got 9 Club bolts. Look at those things, dude. Man. These are Allen. Are you Allen key guy?
I am not. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I already plan on putting that in my like collectible like area.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I'm not. Dude, I'm not picky with my. I'm not picky with my my bolts like that, bro. Like I'm not like. I'm like, you know how people are like, and then they go. And they're like, I'm like, dude, I literally am like, hit the drill. Like,
really? You get grip tape pop up and everything?
Don't care. Well, I'll push it down with my finger and then that's it. I'm like, get that thing set up.
I think we've all tried to push that thing down with our finger.
Yeah, like.
We also have Allen Key Phillips. We got both. We'll hook you up.
No, this is fine. This is I love this. Yeah,
Dane, we got you, bro.
I use the hardware because I don't want to use this and then have to keep coming back to hardware for you.
No,
unless you guys are gonna be my new 9 Club hardware sponsor.
We're your new 9 Club. We're your new hardware sponsor.
I go through a lot of hardware, so you guys
got to link them up, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Also, we got some Budget or Buttery stickers. We got another sticker pack, 9 Club stickers. I will say,
yes,
you get a 9 Club sticker photo on your board, Thrasher cover, $20.
Oh, well, that's we're gonna go for that. That's another thing. Is like, okay, another checklist. Like, I'm gonna go hard. Never had a cover, so we're gonna need to try to put in the work for that too, man. Like,
I know it's possible, bro.
Yeah,
you got it.
Everything's possible.
100%.
Yeah, we're gonna put in the work that needs to go, and whatever comes out comes out. But that's another checklist. We need all those.
Dude,
we need them all. Dude.
We're looking forward to it, bro.
Yes, thank you.
If we need to create a 9 Club zine or something to put that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
Oh, we'll get a cover for that too.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll get covers for that too.
Yes, got to get it on the Bible, bro.
Yeah, we need all that.
Dude, Dane, congrats on all the success. To watching you throughout this whole journey has been awesome, and keep doing what you're doing, dog.
Thank you, dude. Kelly, man. Dude, true inspiration. All you guys, bro. Just to be on the show with you guys, like, and like your guys' history in skating, who you guys and what you guys dropped and put down out there. It's cool, man. Sit at this table with you guys. So, man, thank you guys too.
I appreciate it. We're just having fun.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
For sure, man.
Dude, Dane, thank you, dude. Thank you so much, bro.
Okay, man.
Hey, doors always open. Come back anytime.
I will. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's like Dr. 9 Club therapy. Like, I'll just pop back up. You'll be in an interview with somebody else and be like, oh, there's Dane again.
Dane's waiting outside. We got to get him in here.
Yeah.
No, when your art comes into play and like, that would be a perfect time, bro.
Cool, dude. Cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, second interview.
Come on in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Love that.
Straight up.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, it don't matter.
Nice.
We're here, bro.
I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you guys, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Dane Vaughn, everybody, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.